So, I don't
But
know.
again, it wasn't one of those come on our morning show because we're going to ridicule the Maryland guy. Ha ha, we're better than you.
Today's Seth Greenberg situation was bizarre just because they offered him up as an interview to comment on college basketball since, the conference tournaments are going on and there's a bubble watch going on and there are teams playing their way in and out of the tournament and how it affects all the other teams. And this is, generally speaking, what you would tab your college basketball expert to do if you offer them up to markets. I would imagine they're expecting certain questions about the big picture as opposed to just the insular Florida State program or whatever market you're in. You wouldn't, but he was, So you won't get that interview, but you will get a snippet just to hear of how it.
Even if Florida State was the focus of the interview, you wouldn't have gathered any insight whatsoever.
Oh,
Just saying.
That's true. Florida State's going to play baseball, and they're going to play against Wake Forest, which means we're starting conference play, which is a great thing. I love when we start conference play because now we ratchet it all up. Gone are the easy wins against the likes of Xavier and USF and Troy and UNC Asheville and even Kansas. So those were compelling games, 10-5 and 12-7. Now you get tested, and it's great that Florida State is indeed off to a 13-0 start, but now we get it going because it's 3 at Wake, then it's Tuesday the 13th at Florida, and then it's Notre Dame here, and UCF is usually good, and then it's at North Carolina, and then it's Florida, and then it's Louisville. And you want to talk about a stretch of games. All right, 13-0 is cool.
Yep.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Let's see what we are. Now, you're going to lose some of those games. It's baseball. You're going to lose because those are good teams. You're going to lose some games. And that's fine. I want to see how you play. I want to see where you're at because as of right now, the pitching is simply exceptional. Cole Sands starts tonight. He's undefeated, obviously, at 3-0, but with a 2.25, striking people out. Drew Parrish will pitch Game 2 of this series, which is actually going to be a doubleheader. It's Game 2 and Game 3 happening on the same day on Saturday. It's Drew Parrish and Austin Pollock. By the way, those two guys respectively 1-0, 106, and 2-0, 056. Whoa. We're pitching, folks. In fact, if you need to know, Florida State leads the country in strikeouts per 9 innings. Maybe I'm a bit of a neophyte here. Something tells me if you can continue to lead the country, if your pitching staff leads the country in strikeouts, you're going to win your fair share of baseball games.
Well, again, that's why I looked at the strikeout to walk ratio to me because you have so much
third best in the nation.
Because you have so much youth. If it was, a veteran-laden staff and we knew what they have been for 2 years, they're all in their money year or one guy came back for his senior season and they're leading the world, that's great. You haven't learned anything about this staff, but you have so many young pitchers making so many more appearances than they would because you're trying to all hands on deck figure out with Tyler Holton out for the year, what are you going to do next? And then you played 5 days in a row against Kansas. You tacked on last weekend's 3-game series with 2 straight games against Kansas. So you have a lot of kids being put in positions that I don't know that the coaching staff drew up for them right out of the season. And here you go. You're not walking people. It's just like it's the opposite of the offensive approach. Get on base however you can. With our pitching staff, if you can strike guys out and not have control problems to go along with it, all the more power to you.
Yeah, to lead the country in strikeouts and then be third best in the country in strikeout to walk ratio suggests certainly you're passing the test early on. All those young guys that have come out and surprised us to go along with the veterans are making up right now what is an elite staff. We'll see. Better competition will reveal just how good. But I would also note this, Tom. It's funny. It's not surprising, but when you look at all the statistical categories to see where Florida State ranks in, and it's again the sample size is not huge, but it's still enough to begin to glean something about what the team is. They once again lead the country in base on balls. So they get on base as they always do, leading the country in doing so, leading the country in strikeouts, top 3 in strikeouts to walk ratio, strike number 1 in the country in strikeouts per 9 innings. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You can get
That's as good as you can do up to this point in the season.
Right. It's just downright silly. We're watching these teams play it out now, and there are games going on as we speak that could help determine who's in and who's out. A big result today for Alabama, 81-63 over Auburn. They win going away against 16th-ranked Auburn. I'm just going to mention that maybe about a 10-day ago span or so, I mentioned Auburn to me was
2 fingers to your eyes.
That's still going on here. That's exactly what's happening. As this show is happening today, there's not a lot in the way of dramatic contests being played. Most of them, in terms of how they affect the bubble, most of them and the bigger matchups and high-profile games in general are happening tonight. Maybe an exception would be a team that needs to run the table, like Georgia taking on Kentucky as we start the show. Not really. I mean, I don't think Georgia's going to go on to win the SEC, although they have done it before.
They did it in Atlanta the year that they had to move it to Georgia Tech because they had a big tornado downtown.
It was nuts. They did a 30 for 30 or an SEC special on that or whatever it was.
I was there in that town that weekend, and I was staying downtown.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a tornado.
It was that bad. Yeah, Virginia and Clemson's tonight, by the way. That's not a play-in game. Both those teams are obviously, in the NCAA tournament, but it's a good game. It's a fun game to watch. But like I said, a lot of these games involving teams that are already pretty well in. You look at Florida and Arkansas 9 o'clock tonight. You're looking at Duke and North Carolina tonight. Even a team like UCLA and Arizona, that's not till 9 o'clock tonight. So, unfortunately, we won't get all of that. We will update you on what's going on with the Valspar. Tiger Woods, another great round of golf today. -3 on the day, -4 on the tournament. Last I checked, he was tied for the lead. I'm sure somebody has surpassed that by now. I have not checked the leaderboard in the last hour and a half, but we'll check on it momentarily.
They can sleep on that. Good luck. I'll sleep
Actually,
fine.
You probably don't want to lead the tournament going into the weekend. We saw that stat yesterday that more people ended up – well, it was Thursday. Most people slept on it and missed the cut.
Not with me running you down. Good luck.
He's having himself a day.
Take some ZzzQuil.
Plenty of time to take it on over to the Perkins and enjoy the spoilings of a good afternoon on the golf course.
There is one off of Tampa Road at 19 that's about a mile south.
Oh, and he knows right where it is.
Oh, yeah,
Does not need to type that into Google Maps. Does not need to ask Siri anything about that. He's like, well, you turn left right here.
You just make a right out of the Copperhead and you just keep going to your Tampa Road. You pass the Ferrari dealership, and there it is.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
And discounts cannot be beat because we share our fiscal year-end bonus with you. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Financing through NMAC with approved credit.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $28.95 and get a free O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 t-shirt by mail. Save on Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Is all your insurance protection under one roof? Make the right choice. Williams Insurance Agency is locally owned and operated, serving Tallahassee and surrounding communities for over 34 years. With access to more than 28 national and Florida-based insurance carriers, they have an independent advantage. Multiple lines of personal, commercial, and life insurance all under one roof. If you don't know insurance, know your agent. Williams Insurance Agency, 2901 East Park Avenue, Suite 2200. Call them today at 877-8555 or visit online at williamsinsuranceinc.com.
To promote my new flower shop, I had one place print my business cards, another print my brochures, and a third, my signs. Now my roses aren't red, my violets aren't blue, my geraniums look dead, and I don't know what to do.
Staples can help your business stand out with signs, banners, and brochures that are a true reflection of your company. And now at Staples, get $5 off your next print and marketing services purchase when you spend $50 or more.
Now my business is blossoming, and I'm spending less green.
Exclusions apply. In-store only. Ends 3/24/18.
Freddy's Pizza.
Hey, I just got my pizza, and there's a piece taken out of it.
Yeah, that's our fee.
But I paid for the whole pizza.
And you got the whole pizza, minus our fee.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nah, it's just like being charged a sign-up fee on a personal loan.
I'm sorry, what?
You got feed. Goodbye.
Oh, wait a sec.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers no-fee personal loans for home renovations, major purchases, or managing credit card debt. Don't get feed. Visit Marcus.com.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay.
Need a place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill, voted best wings in Tallahassee by Tally Awards 3 years in a row. They have daily lunch specials, all under $9, happy hour drink specials, and happy hour on Friday, 2 p.m. to close. Darts are now available on West Pensacola Street. Hobbit American Grill keeps it local with a wide variety of locally crafted beers, plus a full bar. Hobbit American Grill, 3 locations to choose from: 400 Capitol Circle Southeast, 2020 West Pensacola Street, and 5032 Capitol Circle Southwest. Visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Actually thought we would see a game last night that would be fairly intriguing. Turns out it wasn't. For the 7th time this year, a certain superstar freshman, Marvin Bagley, he decided to drop a minimum of 30 and double-digit rebounds. It was actually 33 and 17. That's the 7th time he's done that. He did it to us.
It was kind of funny to watch. I did catch portions, especially the beginning of the second half was probably where I watched the most continuous action while the hockey game was in intermission.
88-70, by the way.
It's an NBA player playing in the college game. That's all that is. When he gets going, it's just that guy over there is different, and everybody else is playing a game that's just a little bit, more amateur, if you will.
He's something to watch, man. It's well, we got to see him, unfortunately, up close and personal at Duke, where he owned the day, and I feared that was going to happen. And when he's right, he is something to behold. And they won that game easily. I think the Irish, you could say, ran out of gas, as we suspected they might, which may mean they don't get in. It does look like they were going to need that win. And injuries hurt, man. And they're a big part of the game, and it all but ruined Notre Dame's season. I won't lose sleep over it. It's part of it. It sucks. Miami had a huge lead and then got routed. It's just weird. A little 14-0 to start the day. We're going to lose 82-65. Thanks for playing.
Don't worry. We can just transfer money from your account into a portfolio with your son, and it's gone!
So it's Virginia and Clemson, 7 o'clock, ESPN, a rematch of the earlier game at the JPJ in which the Cavs manhandled Clemson 61-36. Fewest points scored in the ACC in a game this year. Duke and North Carolina will renew their much overhyped rivalry. It'll be the rubber game. They split this year. Each team won on their home court. That'll be the first time that these two teams have met in the ACC tournament since 2011.
Really?
Yep.
You wouldn't think.
No, you
wouldn't. The way they hype up everything.
Duke has won 38 ACC tournament titles. North Carolina and Duke combined, I should say.
Okay.
Have won 38 ACC tournament titles. 20 for Duke, 18 for North Carolina. Virginia is looking for their third ACC title. The previous titles were won in 1976 and 2014. Clemson is seeking their first ever ACC tournament title in 65 tries as a charter member of the conference. Good Lord, Clemson, we've won an ACC tournament championship. Get it together.
Been to the finals twice.
Clemson's only made it to the ACC tournament finals twice in their history.
Oh, my.
They did it back in 1962, Tom, long before I was born.
Before I was around, too.
In 2008. Tonight's semifinal appearance will only be the 13th in their program's history. Previous semifinal appearances, 2011, 2008, 1998, 96, 93, 90, 80, and then we're going back into yesteryear. That's what we have. Oh, and Middle Tennessee State lost last night out of the Conference USA. That is thought to be a single-bid league. So the team that went 24-6 on the year, 15-3 in the conference, may not get in. I don't know. That resume, from what I'm reading, seems to be good enough to get in. But Southern Miss, who beat them, went 14-17 on the season, 7-11 in the Conference USA, and got beat by Florida State 98-45. What I don't like, I said that correctly, 98-45. What I don't like about that is, again, it's another illustration of where these conference tournaments being the automatic bid getter is the mistake. Okay, you want those tournaments? They're moneymakers. They can be exciting. I think people have accepted that they're going to exist now. All right, keep playing them. But the regular season champ gets the automatic bid. End of story. We're done talking here. That's how you end this nonsense where a team has a bad night after playing, 30 games in a season of which they were dominant. They slip up on a night, or God forbid somebody gets hot and goes berserk from three, which is a flukish thing that we see happen and not a great representation of what a team is or is not, as opposed to a 30-game schedule. Just make the regular season champ the automatic bid getter. We're done here.
Correct, but then you undercut the drama that comes with the conference tournament, and so now you're messing with their money, so they can't do that.
Well,
because if Georgia runs the table, let's just say, apply it to a Power 5. If Georgia runs the table in this thing, but the SEC regular season champ gets the automatic bid, well, that's a nice way to finish your season. You didn't finish your season with a loss, but thanks for playing.
I don't know. We'd have to fix some sort of caveat. I don't want what's the point of cannibalizing the season? Why even play it? Why even play it? Let's just have the damn tournament. Let's roll it out there. Whoever wins this thing is going. Everybody else have a good day. What were we doing?
Well, in a way, the conferences are just following the NCAA's lead in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing? At least in the and in the NCAA, that's why, again, you can be, look, I desperately, you know what I want? I'm going to be honest here. I love that we won the conference championship when we won the tournament, and that we can hang that banner, and that whenever we go in there, we see that, we know that happened. But in truth, and this hurts, it was more impressive what Miami did when they won the regular season title out of the ACC and the conference tournament title. That year, didn't they do that? They did both?
I think they did both.
Yeah, that hurts more because that was more impressive. To win the conference, that's crazy. To win the regular season title at a school like Miami, or if we had done that,
sure, no, I hear you.
Much more impressive.
It is more impressive, but, they don't hang a banner for one of those things.
No, I know, but they should hang a banner for the 30-game. It's much more impressive.
Dude, you're making too much common sense.
It's just
if
so
the
much
NCAA
more.
cared about that, they'd have a best 2 out of 3 format for the best, 16 teams or 8 teams after you get to a certain point. They wouldn't have this one-off deal.
No, I know.
That's 68 teams.
It's ridiculous.
68 teams.
Joey Brackets has it like this, all right? He's got Villanova as a 1. You knew that. Coming into the East, you've got in the South Virginia as the 1, Kansas in the West as the 1, Xavier in the Midwest. There was no real surprise there. He's got the ACC currently with 9 teams in. He's got the SEC at 8. He's got the Big 12 at 7. Big East 6, Big 10 4. Look at the sorry-ass Pac-12 rolling in there with 3 teams maybe. A couple of those are on the bubble. they conceivably, if UCLA and Southern Cal don't get into the tournament, the Pac-12 is rolling in with one team. One team is going.
That's all we got? One gosh darn team?
We got one team making the tournament? What are we doing over here? That's ridiculous. And that one is said to have been a cheating mess. The FBI is looking into. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Sean Miller's like, no.
That'd be great if you had press row and then the row for the scouts and then the FBI is in another row.
If you were wondering where Joey Braggin's, and I think it would be more pertinent for me to give you that information given that I just ignored it altogether and we care more about Florida State than we do anybody else. He's got us as a 10 now, rolling out west to take on Texas A&M.
It's where we should be.
I'm fine with that.
Before that final stretch started, it was if you lose all your games, you could be out. If you win at least one, you're going to finish probably in the 10 range. If you win more than one, you could go as high as 7 if you win a lot, if you win them all. But here we are. We won one game, and we're at the 10.
Let's hope Texas A&M plays the kind of defense that they did against Alabama at the end of the game that allows a guy like Sexton to go coast to coast and just peace out in 4-point-whatever seconds, and nobody gets in front of him. Nobody bothers to defend the ball. We'll have a good day. We can make layups.
Sure thing.
We'll take it to the basket, buddy.
Well, sometimes.
We'll be all right.
We miss a lot of bunnies.
I don't think we miss an inordinate number of bunnies. I think we remember every one we missed because we're locked in on our favorite team. Every game I watch, if I really watch, I watch kids miss open shots all the time. And I imagine the fans of those particular teams are going, damn it, we miss a ton of these.
Jump shots, sure.
No, layups. I'm telling you, it happens. It's college basketball. They miss too many layups. Just kind of plagues the sport a little bit. Whereas the pros doesn't have it all that much. Also in the pros, it's ridiculous. I was watching Al Horford last night take one step from the top, like the three-point line, on a blow-by to his right side past the defender. He was one step and above the rim. I was like, this is that kind of length, size, explosiveness, even at his age now.
Yeah, he's been around for a minute.
Forever.
Business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. It could be the save of a lifetime. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Hendrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your saving race. race into Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC for the best selection and service in Tallahassee. Get incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
Always with that guy and the time. It's true.
But then Len showed up.
There you go.
I did.
Always.
Yeah.
Just in the nick of time.
Well, that's what I do.
It's timing.
Yeah.
It's important.
That's a skill.
The Sangria Gorilla.
He's been a Sangria Gorilla.
Yeah, guilty.
Sangria Gorilla from way back.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Bomani Jones with us now.
Stu Gods.
Yes.
Who are your two favorite bands in the world?
Grateful Dead and Pearl Jam.
White guys. White.
All right. Who's a better singer, Eddie Vedder or Prince? Prince.
Eddie
Who's
Vedder.
better at playing rhythms, Stone or Prince? Prince.
Yeah.
Who's better at playing lead guitar, McCready or Prince? Prince. Who's better at bass, Amen or Prince? Prince. Who's better at drugs, whoever that dude is doing that bad John Bonham impression for Pearl Jam or Prince?
Yeah.
Prince.
Yep.
Who's better at playing guitar, Jerry Garcia or Prince?
Jerry Garcia.
Prince.
Jerry Garcia.
Prince is a better guitar player than Jerry Garcia. Hate to break it to you, homie. It's just what it is.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Tallahassee Sports Center.
I'm Lee Gordon. Florida State baseball is the toast of the town right now. 13-0 on the season. Mike Martin feeling really good about his team's chances this year. The Noles head out to Wake Forest for their first ACC matchup of the year. They'll go at it tonight at 6 o'clock. They've got a doubleheader now on Saturday because of inclement weather on Sunday. They were going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they'll go 2 on Saturday. ACC basketball tournament continues in Brooklyn. The semifinals. It's the game we wanted in the championship, but tonight it's Duke against North Carolina. Round 3. NFL news, the exodus continues in Seattle. Richard Sherman will be released by the Seattle Seahawks. He did have a torn Achilles. He did have surgery on it in the offseason, but he should be ready to go for the start of the season. No question there's going to be a team ready to scoop him up. And Serena Williams is back in the win column, winning her first match in 14 months as she returned to Indian Wells.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Kelly Leak's stat line for 1976, 900 batting average, 50 home run, 0 blanks given. Well played, Super 70s. It's so crazy that he went on to be Rorschach.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty nuts.
Yeah.
But he looks the same. That's the other crazy part.
Except for he's bald, but yeah. Outside of
but I mean, they gave him the spiky, red hair in Watchmen, so you could kind of see it.
Yeah, it's weird because I actually didn't know it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think it was you years ago. You made a comment, and I went, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because
I had no idea.
Usually,
but all those years later, I just wasn't putting two and two together.
But I mean, usually, a kid like that, he sheds the freckles. I had tons of freckles when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was like this hybrid, like ginger brown-haired guy, and then the freckles on the face went away. But for old Rorschach, he looks identical.
Should have mentioned a moment ago that the last time we were a 10 seed was 2011 when we faced Texas A&M, who were projected to face in the West, and we did win that game, as you recall. We also followed that win up with a thorough beatdown of the number 2 seed of the NCAA tournament, which was Notre Dame, and those games were in Chicago, which in essence was a Notre Dame home game.
Yeah, that's right. That's when old Carl White karate kicked Ben Hansbrough in the face.
In the face. That's right. He wanted none of it. It was awesome.
It didn't look unintentional.
No,
put it that way.
didn't. I was proud of him. I also remember thinking, I'll save that one because people will talk about, well, we underachieve, we don't do this, we don't do that. Yeah, as a 10 seed, we went to the Sweet 16 and we hammered the 2 seed. Just saying.
But was that season markedly better than the one we had a year ago? I guess in some people's eyes it was. But 26 wins in the ACC as currently comprised? Come on, man.
Yeah, no, but I will say if you go to a Sweet 16, it's unfortunate. It's the bad.
I know.
It's the bad part of it. You know what you got to be able to do? You have to be able to appreciate both things and separate them. It's like a postseason run of any kind in Major League Baseball. For years I've told you about how much I really value the regular season in Major League Baseball, the feel that you get watching it, the essence of what that means. Like, this is a better indicator of what a team is or isn't, not a random one-game playoff game, wild card, whatever, or even a 3 out of 5. I mean, that's just, but it's different. But you care about both. You still watch it. You still want to see it, and you still value them. But you can just separate them. That's what you have to be able to do, I think. It's like that 26-win season from a year ago, I really did appreciate. And I could appreciate it while it was happening. I could go to the games, and they would mean something to me. And when we beat Louisville and when we beat Duke, I was sitting next to you.
Yeah.
And we were having a beer and cheering on our team, and it was great to watch. And it didn't get dismissed when we lost to Xavier in the second round. I didn't forget about those times. I didn't forget about those wins. I didn't forget about the 26 wins, the undefeated home season. I didn't forget about what that represented and how fun it was, what that represented and how fun it was to watch. But I do think the vast majority of college basketball fans do. And I'm not even being judgmental. I just don't choose to do that because it makes the regular season useless.
Yeah. I appreciate the ride. And listen, if we get to a point as a program where the ride is a given, the regular season is a given.
If you're Duke or Kansas or Kentucky.
No, 26 wins, and the way we were scheduled, the way the ACC did us to start our ACC slate and to manage it the way we did, I mean, that's double birds right back up to Tobacco Road saying, what else you got for us? And they tried to do it again this year, and we're still going to make the tournament with a bunch of role players and some kids who may be stars and focal points, cornerstones next year. But they're not this year.
No, they're
We've
not.
got a bunch of role players out there on the court. That's the fun part about this season. But, I mean, okay, if we get to the Elite Eight or the Final Four, do I care if we won 20 or 26 games? No, I don't. No. But to make it out the first weekend of the tournament versus winning a game, I don't see how one game in that sense makes a difference.
Tom, you should know the Canadian Corey Connors thinks very little of Valspar.
Oh,
as
my
he just
God.
continues to destroy. He is now the leader, and by a lot, at -7 currently. Paul Casey tied with Ryan Palmer, Brant Snedeker, Kelly Craft, whoever the hell that is, Tiger Woods. We know that guy.
He's 7 under Canadian, so he's about
So we're not
he's about
counting him?
2.5 under par. By the time the weekend hits him, that's what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, I was pretty well blown away, by the way, when I saw that number. I was like, well, good Lord, what are we doing here? This guy cares very little for this course. He's
back up a 67. I mean, this is a tough course. It's really, they've given it teeth over the last few years, the way they've grown the rough and down in Palm Harbor, Florida.
Not afraid. But anyhow, the round that Tiger had today, which was a 68, which at the time that he shook hands and walked off the 18th green was good enough to be in a tie for the lead, still sees him tied for second. And I think if you take a step back and look bigger picture here, like we were just talking about with the college basketball season, this is remarkable. This is remarkable. He may not win this tournament, and who knows if he wins it all this year. The way he's playing suggests he will certainly win this year. But we're not too far removed from really entertaining the idea that there's very little chance we ever see Tiger Woods win on the PGA Tour again, let alone a major that people were talking about. And we were at a point where we weren't sure we were ever going to see him play again.
Yeah, we were saying 0% chance. He did the Hero World not this past season, bleeding over into 2018, but bleeding over into 2017. He looked okay. He looked okay in that tournament. People weren't raving about him, but it looked like he was starting to
Is that the
round
one with
into
the
form.
wide open fairways?
It's the one down in the Bahamas.
Yeah, it's wide open. Right.
Right, but he looked like he wasn't in pain at the time, and then he followed that up by being in pain very quickly.
Didn't he fly clear across the world to go play? Isn't that when he went?
Yeah.
That was stupid. But
It was. Yeah. That's when I finally broke. I was holding out hope that, because Phil is 5 years older than him. So, again, Phil does crazy things into his mid and late 40s, and Tiger, if you just talk about athletically speaking, he'll be in better shape than Phil will be at 52 when he's 47. So Tiger still has a window here, and I didn't want to give up on that. But last year I finally broke. I said, "Oh well, this is never going to happen."
Well, if you're not going to play
him.
for 2 years, and you're going to be awful when you do play, and you're going to be walking around gingerly, like every time you reach down to pick up the ball, you look like you're in pain.
Right?
Yeah.
You look like the guys who teed off at my home course
right.
on Tuesday morning.
In their 60s on a cold morning.
Well, and they had like the suction cup on the end of the putter so they could get the ball out of the hole. That's what you look like.
Yeah, that was bad, but he doesn't look anything like that now. He looks like a world-class golfer again, and a guy that will contend, and a guy playing with confidence, and it'll be interesting. I would have liked to have seen, and we won't get it today, it doesn't appear, or tomorrow I should say, would have liked to have seen what happened, if he didn't bogey the 18th and walked in as the leader at -5, and if nobody had caught him. And he began Saturday as the individual leader. I mean, we won't know. As a guy chasing, and as a guy trying to find his game, and as a guy who's getting better each week, and as a guy who's improving in certain areas, statistically speaking and otherwise, he's passing all the tests. Check, 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 check. Competing, club head speed, getting around the green, making putts, all that. He's
getting out of trouble and minimizing damage.
No yips on the chips and all that other stuff. Yeah, he's all of that. We know that now. I wanted to see if we were going to get lucky enough to have him have to perform with the lead, because remember last week, Phil in Mexico, the brief stint that he had the lead was starting to get a little unraveled.
Yeah.
He's throwing it off into the trees and into the people and everything else. And then when he's trailing by 2 shots, after your boy jars it from the fairway, which drives me nuts, but anyhow, then he just got loose again and started making shots and swinging away and not really worrying about it. And that is a different animal for guys who get older.
Well, listen, we're closing in on 4 o'clock. It doesn't look like anybody else is going to be going low. So if Tiger posted 4, I would think that means that he's going to be in the final pairing tomorrow with this kid from Canada.
Yeah,
so
Corey Connors.
He could have the lead by the end of the day. You're going to have a kid in a position like this, or he could be a vet. I don't know how old this person is, but he's never been of any consequence in the PGA Tour, and now good luck playing in Tiger's group. If that's going to be your fate.
He may get lucky because Kelly Craft is only through 13 at -4 and still on the course, so you may have a guy there. He'll be playing with Kelly Craft, who Corey Connors might look at and say.
Even still, let's just say Tiger's in the group in front of you. Then you're going to have people moving all day. You're going to have visual obstruction all day long. That's its own animal, too. So I think you're looking at 72, 73 happening at minimum tomorrow for whoever's playing adjacent to Tiger.
By the way, no offense to Kelly Craft. Who the hell is Kelly Craft? This is the second time in 2 days where I'm like, who's this guy? That was earlier today. I was talking about, was it Wee Kim or whatever the hell his name is? Who the hell is Wee Kim? I get it.
Wee Kim was flirting last year with a couple of weekend I think top 3s, top 5s.
Well, I'll tell you who Kelly Craft is. He's 29 years old out of SMU, and here are his totals on the PGA Tour. He won $64,000 and $12,000.
Is that this year?
Yeah, and getting back to last year, he won a whopping $30,000.
That's it?
His total. Oh no, he had it. Oh, sorry. This year, he was very good at the Honda. He won $191,000 by finishing 8th.
There you go.
So he's one of the few guys on a leaderboard that is not a millionaire based on his earnings in golf. How about that?
They go a long way to helping that out, even if he finished T5 this week.
Talk about nervous, right? But he is playing well. I mean, here he is coming off the Honda at $191,000, finishing 8th, and now at -3. All right, I'm prattling on about Kelly. I get it. But I just don't know who Kelly Craft is. I've never heard of him. Now I know.
Somebody who's firing 75-75 if he has to play with Tiger on the weekend.
Somebody who's firing 75-75 no matter who he's playing with on the weekend. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck, always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
Midnight. $5 cover after 5 p.m. So throw on your green and Irish-inspired ensembles and get to Finnegan's Wake this St. Patrick's Day. Doors open at 11 a.m. 21 and up only. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas.
Spring into savings with DeWalt and Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Buy one DeWalt 20-volt Max XR lithium-ion brushless premium hammer drill and impact driver combo kit with a 5-amp-hour battery and receive $100 off instantly. But wait, you get one of the following DeWalt Bare tools for free: a 5-inch grinder, recip saw, circular saw, or an LED spotlight. Come check out all of the new DeWalt products at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. While you're there, check out the most powerful cordless kit on the planet, FlexFold. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, online at ctf.nu.
Platigan Sports makes it their business to know about your community, the local sports schedules, and your child's sports needs. And don't be fooled. Bigger stores don't always mean better selection or better prices. At Platigan Sports, you can choose from new or quality used sports and fitness equipment and from a large selection of some of the top name brands out there: Nike, Reebok, Under Armour, Easton, and many others. Plus, at Platigan Sports, you can sell those sports and fitness items you no longer need for cash on the spot.
A store that fits your needs and your budget. That's Platigan Sports.
I was driving in my car and I smelled a number 5 with fries. Hadn't stopped for lunch, made me realize it was just my ride. Oh no. But with the new Febreze car, I got it under control. Now they come in light or bold, choose how you roll. Febreze car, roll with me and breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary. Get your history lesson weekdays at 5:30 during the Jeff Cameron Show, right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Freddy's Pizza.
Hey, I just got my pizza and there's a piece taken out of it.
Yeah, that's our fee.
But I paid for the whole pizza.
And you got the whole pizza, minus our fee.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nah, it's just like being charged a sign-up fee on a personal loan.
I'm sorry, what?
You got feed. Goodbye.
Oh, wait a sec.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers no-fee personal loans for home renovations, major purchases, or managing credit card debt. Don't get feed. Visit Marcus.com.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans agrees to a 5-year, $82.5 million extension that includes $55 million in guaranteed money. Now under contract through 2023. So order of business number 1 and allocation of surplus money for the Bucs has been taken care of, and now it's time to take a look at Jameis Winston. And we're still going to be in a situation in Tampa where if you'd like to make a splash, if there's one to be made out there for a singular free agent or somebody of that ilk, you could.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely could. So point is, they got the Evans deal done. And that's good news. Didn't want that lingering, you don't want a situation.
It looks like it is, and I'm sure it'll be reported on soon, but I just found some unofficial stats on wide receiver contracts. It looks like it's the highest total and most guaranteed money for any receiver ever, but that's how these things go. Whoever the next guy is to sign that's a top-end wide receiver, I believe Odell Beckham is due a contract soon. They'll be the one who set the record. But I think that's what's coming. So in case you see criticism about that, that's just the nature of the beast, man.
Well, that's what happens, right? I mean, it's, guy signs, next guy surpasses that, next guy surpasses that. If you're elite, you get the money, you become the highest paid. Somebody surpasses you the next time an elite player becomes available to sign a long-term deal. So Evans is elite. There's no getting around that. He has been simply spectacular, and that was a must sign and absolutely must extend.
He also has good chemistry with Jameis on and off the field. They get along. I think that's important.
For a quarterback receiver, it is important.
If they didn't have chemistry on the field, that would be the most important thing. But, if a quarterback goes to bat for a receiver and says, listen, that's my guy, and you trust him as the franchise, you have to take that endorsement very, very seriously. And I'll bet that was a priority for Jameis to make sure that Mike doesn't go anywhere.
Of the free agents and what we're looking at now, and no longer will we have to worry about all of this, you look at guys that are a difference maker. By the way, did you know that Drew Brees is technically a free agent? He'll be retained by the Saints, but he...
Yeah, no, last week at the Combine, they were asking Peyton about that. I'm not worried. It'll all get taken care of. He's not going anywhere.
If I were Drew, I'd look at going to Minnesota. Yeah, have a little fun with it, right? So, Kirk Cousins, Denver, Minnesota, Jacksonville, the areas that everybody was hyper-focused on. And I think it's weird that it looks like Minnesota desperately wants Kirk Cousins.
Minnesota or the Jets are now? Yeah.
Kirk, don't go to the Jets.
Yeah.
Don't you do it. Go to Minnesota. You got it made, buddy. That's a legit team. Go to Minnesota. So how about the Vikings? They're like, we got 3. All of you can go to hell. We're going to go with Kirk Cousins.
Do you blame him?
No.
Then you draft a quarterback 4th, 5th round and see if he's worth a damn. And then try again in a couple of years if the backup plan doesn't work.
I'll take me some Kirk Cousins and draft Baker Mayfield in the 2nd round.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, let's get it on. Here we go, baby.
Yeah. Go back to hating the Vikings like it was NFC Central days.
Man. So Case Keenum then, after his greatness of the 2017 season, is what? Somebody that, you'd want to take a look at. The Jets.
The Jets. Ooh. Cleveland.
Poor Case.
Yeah.
Has a sterling campaign in Minnesota.
It was a really good year.
He reverted back to being Case when it mattered, unfortunately, for a day.
They got by the New Orleans gaffe where he throws the pick for
that gets them back in the game.
That's absurd. That throw was just.
He had 2 really
I know the one against the Eagles gets returned for a touchdown, but
it's also an absurd throw.
But you're trying to do something in the Philly game. You're trying to continue.
Give them all the momentum.
But in the New Orleans game, that game is yours as long as you don't throw it directly to the Saints.
Ooh, that just happened. Can't happen. Well, I'll just say this. You're signing him or you're signing Cousins because you surely don't want to deal with signing Josh McCown, Tom Savage, or A.J. McCarron. Ouch. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Stay with.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
TNT.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Charge a sign-up fee on a personal loan.
I'm sorry, what?
You got feed. Goodbye.
Oh, wait a second.
Marcus by Goldman Sachs offers no-fee personal loans for home renovations, major purchases, or managing credit card debt. Don't get feed. Visit Marcus.com.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and Red Tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
For more information and to view TNT's huge Mahindra inventory, go to TNTSuperCenter.com.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
The cut is sharper. The stance is bolder. The rider is comfier. The frame is stronger. The controls are smarter. The handling is smoother. When it comes to professional grade performance, no mower is greater than a Gravely Zero Turn. Be more than just a mower. Be prouder. Be greater. Be a Gravely owner. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
With over 150 of them in stock, the Gravely Zero Turns start at just $28.99. Go to TNTSuperCenter.com for current inventory and pricing.
Hendrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your savings. Race into Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC for the best selection and service in Tallahassee. Get incredible discounts on racetrack-worthy vehicles like $10,000 off select new Buicks and GMCs. We are professional grade. And that's not all. We've got a huge used car inventory, so you can find a quality pre-owned vehicle to fit any budget. We even offer low payments and exceptional offers like 0% APR financing. Hassle? No way. Haggle? Never. At Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC, you'll deal with people you know, like, and trust, and get the honest, friendly service you deserve. That's why our customers will tell you there's no better car buying experience in town. Visit us today at 1850 Capitol Circle Northeast or online at DaleJr.BuickGMC.com. And remember, you too can be a Hendrick driver.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Tallahassee Sports Center.
Huntley Gordon, Florida State baseball is the toast of the town right now. 13-0 on the season. Mike Martin feeling really good about his team's chances this year. The Noles head out to Wake Forest for their first ACC matchup of the year. They'll go at it tonight at 6 o'clock. They've got a doubleheader now on Saturday because of inclement weather on Sunday. They were going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they'll go 2 on Saturday. ACC basketball tournament continues in Brooklyn. The semifinals. It's the game we wanted in the championship, but tonight it's Duke against North Carolina round 3. NFL news, the exodus continues in Seattle. Richard Sherman will be released by the Seattle Seahawks. He did have a torn Achilles. He did have surgery on it in the offseason, but he should be ready to go for the start of the season. No question there's going to be a team ready to scoop him up. And Serena Williams is back in the win column, winning her first match in 14 months as she returned to Indian Wells.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Libations Friday edition of the Jeff Cameron Show. Hope you're well. Loosey-goosey edition of the program. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. Missed the show at all, any portion of it, go back, get caught up. We'll post all 3 hours on iTunes as soon as the show ends. We'll also put it up on our own audio vault. You can email us at jcs@979espnradio.com. Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. And YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. Periscope working or no? We down with the Periscope?
Just YouTube today.
Just YouTube today, gang. Watching the brackets, watching to see who is or is not in. Interesting that people debating Oregon. I think that resume is good enough to get in for the Pac-12 that has a lacking collection of teams this year, to say the least. Florida State baseball, you just heard it a moment ago. Lee Gordon talking in the local sports center. That's what I'm most excited about, actually, this evening as we get things underway. In the ACC, it hasn't been a banner year to start anyhow. Very early in the campaign for Wake. Has been very good for the start for Florida State. And looking to see in conference. And then, of course, beyond that with Florida, what you got from the pitching standpoint, because the Noles have been really, really good. Want to see the bats continue to catch fire here. The last 2 games against Kansas, I know it's Kansas, but to score the 12 runs and the 10 runs in those 2 games and to see Cal Raleigh really get hot there and have some other guys contribute with the bat, because the pitching's been nothing short of exemplary. So this will be important.
Well, yeah, the bats weren't going in general. It didn't matter who you were playing. So you got to get your confidence right sometime. And you could continue this weekend against a Wake team that's had a rough go of it so far this season.
Yeah, I would by the way, I was looking at this. Going back to last year, did you know that in 5 road starts, Cole Sands is 3-0, and FSU was 5-0 in those starts? Allowed 3 or fewer runs in 4 of the 5 starts in true road games last year.
I don't recall that, no.
I didn't either, and it's actually kind of an important stat.
Yeah,
it's well done, sir.
A lot of bad news last year, and there's a bright spot.
There is a bright spot. Just looking at his numbers in general with everybody else as you kind of preview the series, and I hate that it's going to be a doubleheader on Saturday. It's hard as hell to sweep doubleheaders, just true for anybody. And I'm getting greedy, Tom. I'm just straight up getting greedy. When you're undefeated through 13, why not make it 16?
Yeah, you want to take the minimum amount of time to get 11 his record.
Well, that's true for a lot of reasons, beyond the fact that I'm rooting for him to get the record, of course, but also you get that monkey off your back in terms of distractions and thoughts about something else outside the field of play. I think everybody, including 11, wants that over with. And one of the things I always liked about him, and I've had the chance to interview him now off and on for 20 years, that kind of stuff, I really don't think it means all that much to him. He's always locked in on his kids and getting the most out of a particular team. I'm sure when he retires and has time to reflect, it will mean a lot. Somewhere down deep, it means a lot to everybody to be recognized and to have success. But when you're in it, you're in it. You're doing things, man. You're working on whatever that day's work is.
Well, like anybody else, I think he'd rather have a title, but he's a competitive guy. I think he wants this. I'd venture a guess.
Why not? Listen, when you're in a position, when you've coached as long as he has and you've been as successful as he has, you like to reap the rewards of that kind of commitment and success rate and effort and time and acumen for the game. Yeah, you do. But I also think you're right. I think he'd give up 100 of those wins for a singular national title.
Oh, yeah. Maybe 500 of those wins.
You think so?
Well,
maybe.
I mean, it
I
is.
don't know. It's hard.
That's a big one.
Listen, yeah, I agree. It is. To win a national title is a big deal, but there are some really sorry coaches with some national title championships. So
that doesn't mean he wants it any less.
It doesn't.
It just makes it all the more aggravating.
I think so. It speaks to, again, some of the randomness involved in baseball in particular. Baseball's up there with the kind of game. Look, it's interesting. On a year where the Lightning have, by and large, been the best team in hockey.
Yeah.
I can't help but be kind of guilty of the things that I get mad about involving Florida State fans in any sport, but in particular baseball.
Yeah.
Because the Lightning have been very successful, last year aside. But, 2 and 3 years ago, we were watching them in the Stanley Cup Finals. We were watching a team who was competing at a very high level. So when that's a foregone conclusion, and we thought it would be this year, actually. We thought they'd bounce back big from last year.
Definitely. Well, they needed the rest, too.
Yeah, they did. And so when they've been really good, for as long as they've been good, it's very easy at 47-17-4. That's ridiculous, by the way.
Yeah.
It's very easy at that point to go, another win, and start thinking about the Stanley Cup.
Of course, you have the second best team in hockey in your division, which is just ridiculous. They come out of nowhere starting in November, and they just don't stop winning.
Including last night.
They never play on the road, though, so this last little stretch they'll have to, Boston. But, I agree with you. I mean, I do a weekly podcast, JoeBucksFan.com, the Joe Bolts Fan Podcast. This is week 3 of it. But all I talk about is gearing up for the 6-week run that is the playoffs. That's all I talk about on there. Because that's what matters.
Well, anybody's thinking about.
You're tooling your roster to put yourself in the best position. You got to win the division to put yourself in the best position. It's not about winning. Like, you get a regular season trophy in the NHL. You do. If you have the most points of any team, you get something called the President's Trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a damn about the
President's Trophy, man.
No. Because you're playing best of 7 series, too. That's the other thing here. This isn't like...
It goes on for days.
Baseball can be cruel. Baseball can be really cruel.
It is cruel.
With the 1-game wild card, as you well know. But then even a best of 5 in the next round. And baseball, in its own way, you can dominate a game and lose in special fashion. I mean, you could have 9 hits, but then, 3 double plays and some wacky stuff happens.
You could barrel it up 6 times right at somebody.
Right. In hockey, though, by all rights, if you get to the playoffs and you play best of 7s, if you're the best in the world, you should at least get to the Final Four, to the conference finals. That's just the way it works.
But I will also say, and you know this as a hockey enthusiast, that is the only league that I can think of that routinely sees an 8-1 and like once every 4 or 5 years.
That's true, but
I mean, that happens.
Yes, but where I would caution that is sometimes you have teams that are paper tigers, teams that care about the regular season.
Right.
But if you're built in that mold, and like Pittsburgh doesn't care right now that in the NHL standings they're like the 7th best team in terms of overall both leagues point total.
Right.
They're built to win in the playoffs. That's all that matters to them. And so in this way too, if you're a Lightning fan this year, it's about the cup. It's not about winning a division.
No. It's definitely about the cup. By the way, more NFL news that I didn't get to last hour that I should mention here. Are the Rams just deciding we're going to win the Super Bowl? We don't care. We're done with this nonsense. They've made another acquisition, and they've traded for Aqib Talib. That secondary is ridiculous.
If it can keep itself together, yes. With the bright lights of L.A., that's the question. Even if Aqib came to Tampa, I'd say the same thing.
Well, absolutely you would, because we saw that act. The Broncos received a 5th-round pick and managed to get the Rams to also take on Talib's contract as is. So that's why they did that. $11 million for the 2018 season, $8 million for the 2019 season. That puts them at over $35 million in projected space. So that helps, obviously. And it would also mean, and you see the writing on the wall here, given our last discussion, here's what's going on. Denver's going, we can play some defense. We can't score to save our life. We need a quarterback.
Yep.
Free up some space. Go get Kirk Cousins. Talib's 11-year vet. He's on the back end. Even if he's got one more great year, so what?
Yeah.
Get rid of him. If they'll take the contract, we free up the cap space. We get Cousins. We'll take our chances with the defense we have. And the Rams are saying, we're good right now. I need another piece in that secondary to shore up what is now looking like a dominant secondary.
Yes.
It's the second move they've made at corner, and then, of course, they franchised our boy.
You got Peters, Talib, Joyner, amongst others.
Yes.
Yes, with Aaron Donald in the middle up front.
So they're all in as well, and so these two teams flexing in free agency, you got to give them credit. If you think you're there, make the moves. Let's go.
That's the one troubling thing with Tampa is, that's all it costs, a fifth. We have the room. We got the cap room.
I don't want Talib back in Tampa.
But you take to my meaning, at least with like the Peters move, the Talib move. It's amazing how little you can get somebody for in draft value.
The Peters move, yes, it is, by the way. The Peters move is the one that I was frustrated by because, and I don't know if you just couldn't lure him here. Kansas City was done with him. They were angry with him. They thought he was a head case. They got mad when he threw the football into the stands, which is petty, whatever. Who gives a damn? But apparently he's been a bit of a problem in that regard. It's a league of mercenaries. If you're not committing crimes, I don't care if you drive a car out onto the field and do donuts and get kicked out of the game in week 4, and I've got to address the media because of it. If you're a lockdown corner, well, that was a poor decision. Wish he hadn't done that. Really tore up the field, but we'll see him out there in week 6.
Marshawn Lynch kind of did that at Cal when he drove the golf cart.
Yeah,
he was driving the golf cart doing donuts.
I mean, again, if you're not assaulting people or walking around with AKs or whatever, I mean, I don't really, and I bring that up because the one guy for the Cowboys did, right? Threw the girl on top of a stack of guns. Short of something as egregious and just unbelievably violent.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, throw the football in the stands.
It's just crazy, though, for like 5th-round pick. What expectation you have a 5th-rounder is going to be successful? I get there are cap implications. I get that. And I get that also Talib is in the back end of a deal that's not team-friendly. But you have an above-average, at worst, right now, NFL starter. And all you got to part with is a 5th? Did we take like Jeremy McNichols in the 5th round last year in Tampa?
Right. And
what did he do?
It didn't work out, as we know.
Here, take my 5th-round pick.
Well, I'm with you on that, by the way. But it's funny. There's an entire chart for this, Those leagues, those guys, they look at it very closely. You get
sometimes
they
don't come off the chart, too, and that's where...
won't come off the chart, I know. So the Rams now have added Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters over the course of a week. And now, of course, locked up LaMarcus Joyner. And you can begin to have the discussion about whether or not, in the midst of them doing that, while Seattle is parting ways with their secondary, if the Legion of Boom leaves Seattle and is now in L.A., and I think you'd say if those guys are healthy and play hard and play well and play focused, they are.
Yeah.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 on ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
$10 a.m. until 3 p.m. And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it. And I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Why wouldn't you keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I tell everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
Hi, honey. How was your day?
It was fine. Pretty uneventful. How about you?
Well, I called the auditors this afternoon and made an appointment for one to come out to the house.
Wait, what? Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. Coverage of Florida State basketball on The Jeff Cameron Show and 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you all season long by the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This is The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I mentioned it to you yesterday, and I know we're short here, so I'll mention it to you today. And people ask me this because occasionally I make these references to either books or podcasts or things that I'm into beyond this, and so I'll do it now. I didn't realize this. In the 1800s, well, I understood some of this, but I didn't understand the depth of it. In the 1800s in America, we mainly ate meats and cheeses. And we didn't have refrigerators, of course, so that's why you couldn't really have, there was the risk that salad came with some sort of problem. Like cholera.
Vegetation doesn't stay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. You don't have a means to preserve it.
That's right. And then over time, people got clued into things like grapefruit or broccoli, and they thought, well, this is good. I'd like to add to the diet here. This is good stuff. And those were all good things, and we wanted to find out more ways to get different kinds of food in our diet. And a guy named David Fairchild, who I've never heard of, lost to history, I think, is largely responsible for finding all that stuff. He was a guy from the Midwest in the 1800s who grew up on farms, and he became a botanist. Many described him as a lousy botanist. But he was a food lover, and he had a taste for travel, and he basically traveled the world finding plants. There's a book out called The Food Explorer and Seeds. Daniel Stone wrote it. Anyhow, he found dates from Baghdad, avocados, He brought back Egyptian cotton in 1899. He bought in 1902 was the dates from Baghdad. Mangoes, 58 varieties of mangoes. He was hired by the government. He became a staffer for the USDA. He was charged with growing the U.S. economy by helping farmers. Went to over 50 countries around the world and engaged in espionage by stealing seeds and plants and everything he could from other areas of the world to bring back more variety for farmers to grow and increase the economy and for us to have on our dinner plates. And this guy became, from the 1880s to the 1940s, the food spy. That is awesome. What a cool-ass job.
Oh, dangerous, too.
So he went to Bavaria. So get
now
this.
You're messing with my economy.
Like the Germans knew that they had the best hops for beer, Bavarian hops.
Yes, we do.
So in America, we had really crappy beer. We had crappy hops. And in the 1800s, we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and we had crappy hops. So there was not much we could do. He went over there to find out about the hops in Bavaria, and there were guards guarding the fields.
9!
But he believed in diplomacy. So rather than just steal them while they fell asleep at night or something and take a risk of getting shot or whatever else, he befriended one of the guards and said he was staying down the road and he had heard all about these hops and he'd love to learn more about it. And over time, they became friends. And eventually the guy figured out, oh, I know why you're here. And he walked over one night. They got drunk together and he gave him the hops and said, don't tell anybody I did this, but you're a good guy. Here you go. Here's 4 hops. Take them with you. And that's how we got the hops.
They'll ruin our exports.
How cool is that, right? Just something, book's called The Food Explorer. That's what I'm into right now.
It's not a paid-for endorsement.
It's not. It's just sometimes you guys ask me, so there you go. That's what I'm into. I'm reading that now. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this. I thought I could handle it. We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
To TNT Hideaway. Don't miss this opportunity on March 10th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m.
Yamaha Outboard. Live and breathe life on the water. The Key to Reliability sales event is going on at Mike's Marine Supply in Panacea through March 31st. For a limited time, purchase a new select eligible 2.5 to 300 horsepower Yamaha Outboard and choose either 5 years of warranty protection or up to $1,500 in dealer credit. Mike's Marine Supply, the only full-line Yamaha dealer in this area. 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida. Call them at 984-5637 or online at mikesmarineflorida.com.
Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I'm at a concert, and I go to the bar, and a guy comes over and points at me and says, "You're on ESPN." And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "Mike and Mike." And I'm like, "No." And he's like, "Outside the line." I guess he thought I was Bob Lee. Who was it? Was it Mike? I was Mike Golick, and now I'm Bob Lee. But this is where he's got me. Like, on the third one. I'm like, "Really, dude? Just go to Google." He hit me with Rosenberg.
Peter or Sid?
Which one?
Probably Peter.
It had to be Peter. No,
there's
way,
a hell of a difference.
Yeah. What is happening in that person's mind?
In one conversation, he thought you were Golick, Bob Lee, Peter Rosenberg.
That's right.
I think that guy's.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the program, as we're wont to do on a glorious day like today. In 2017, Corey Kluber, you know Corey Kluber, the pitcher, he finished with the lowest earned run average in the majors amongst qualified starting pitchers. Do you know what that ERA was? 2.25, Tom, 2.25. It's not significant, really, but the number of pitchers who actually qualified for an ERA title being at its lowest is significant. And as you know, the rule in baseball is that for a pitcher to qualify for the ERA title, he has to average 1 inning per game played, so 162 innings. And last season, and that's the minimum requirement, by the way, only 58 pitchers in all of Major League Baseball qualified with that very minimum requirement to win the ERA.
It's not slowing down. If anything, I think the bullpen is only going to become more of a factor in the sense that you're going to have middle relievers that are kind of starter quality. I think that's where we're going now. Well, like you have the game starter, then the mid-game person, and then you have the bullpen with your setup man and closer.
Yeah, to your point, by the way, the not slowing down, well, you are correct. 2013, you had 81 pitchers qualify with the average starter pitching almost 6 innings per game, 5.9. 2014, 5.97. So still starters were getting, up around 6 innings, a little bit more there in 2014. Then we begin to see the drop. 2015, you have 78 pitchers qualify with a 5.81 average, meaning obviously we've gone now from 5.97 to 5.81 in terms of average innings pitched per game per starter. 2016, 74 qualifiers for the ERA title, 5.65, so a dramatic drop-off. And then last year, just 58 pitchers qualified at a record low 5.51 innings pitched per starting pitcher. So, again, the average number of innings thrown by starting pitchers has been in steady decline. We go from 88 to 58 in the number of qualifiers, and that's where we're at. It's a bullpen game, which is not good for baseball.
Well, and you have some weird things going on. Now rotations are being tinkered with. I see the Rays are going to try a 4-man rotation.
Well, the Rays are screwed either way. All their pitchers got hurt, and every meaningful player on their roster has either left or is about done.
But I know the Mets in the last couple of years with injuries and trying to ease guys back have done a 6-man rotation. I think Arizona, San Francisco have kicked around that idea. it's going to get redefined in the next 10 years. I really believe you're going to have 8 quote-unquote starters, 7 or 8 of them, and it's just going to be which clean inning do they start. Like sometimes they'll start the first, sometimes they'll start the fifth. We're getting to an era where I think specialization is going to look even more crazy than it does to say somebody who, like my dad, grew up watching the game in the 50s and the 60s. It looks crazy now to him. I think it's going to look crazy to us in about 10 years.
Yeah, the Angels this year are going to a 6-man rotation.
Okay, so the Angels are too.
The Angels are going to a 6-man rotation for Ohtani. That's why. They wanted to give him the ability to pitch in the rotation. And so, yeah, they're going to a 6-man rotation. I hate this because with specialty arms being as good as they are, the quality of those arms are such that, we've done the documentation of strikeouts and those that throw 100 miles per hour. That number has increased. And, I mean, it's what was I gave the statistic. I cannot recall it now. A year ago, I gave the stat about in 2009, this many guys could throw 100 miles per hour.
Oh, it's exponential.
It was, but I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, we had really seen like an extra 100 times or something like that.
It's not doubling or tripling. It's exponentially increasing.
Yeah. And so what you ended up having there was a situation where we were aghast. I mean, it used to be that 100 on the radar gun not only raised an eyebrow, it was something to talk about the next day. Like if you read that article in the paper that Nolan Ryan hit 100 miles per hour last night in the 7th inning of his start for the Rangers or the Astros or whatever, you came to work the next day and said, Bob, did you see that article? Nolan Ryan was hitting 100 on the gun last night. It was something to behold. When J.R. Richard hit 100 miles per hour, people went, man, that's a big dude throwing 100. Every night, I have the baseball package. You have the baseball package. Average-ass, no-name middle relievers roll out there and will touch 100 on the gun. Now, they may not be as good because they can't control it or it's flat, whatever it might be, but they can throw one or two guys before the timing gets there. If you just need an out, bring in a guy who will throw 100 miles per hour 4 straight times, 3 straight times, and take it on down the road.
Yeah, 100 used to make you laugh. You go, oh, my God.
Yeah.
And now 100, you go, well, he's bringing it tonight. It's not crazy.
Well, it's not crazy, and the better pitchers, and you have them on your staff when they're healthy, will straight up do that in the 6th inning.
Yeah,
I mean,
one of them.
Syndergaard will throw that in the 6th inning.
You're 101 in spring training. It's not
crazy.
being an idiot, but yeah.
Well, but it looks easy. I mean, I watched him the other day. He's not throwing – it doesn't look like he's overthrowing like he was when he got hurt.
Yeah.
When he was trying to prove something.
Yes, he's trying to prove something. And
yeah. That was done, but I don't think he's doing that right now, Tom. This should make you happy. I mean, I watched his start the other day, and actually Bryce and I were watching that because his coach says we should watch more baseball. And and so
was that the Astros game?
Yeah, and he was throwing free and easy, man.
Yeah,
hitting 100 just like and locating, and he threw a breaking ball, which okay, all right.
Well,
nice
the 91-mile-an-hour slider too. I'm like, man.
That is
you don't need to be taxing that on right now.
You know what's amazing? By the way, you know what's amazing? For a part-time player and for a guy that didn't get the chance to focus on it all that much, Jameis Winston threw an 82-mile-per-hour wipeout slider. That's what he threw. And in college, and for part-time pitcher, he threw an 82-mile-per-hour slider.
And that was before the seams were lowered, right, on the baseball?
I can't remember.
I don't think they were lowered yet.
I just remember being in awe. That was ridiculous.
But he could hit 91, 92 on the gun too, right?
Yeah, he didn't
with
throw,
his fastball.
Yeah, he wasn't a blazing fastball kind of guy. I imagine if he had obviously dedicated his time to baseball only, he would have been because he's a big dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he threw hard. He threw in the 90s, but he threw an 82-mile-per-hour slider, which you were just like, well, that's filthy. That's ridiculous. Who's hitting that in college?
Right. And here's Noah who can throw 91.
91.
Yeah.
91. I don't like it because it's not a lack of skill that we're talking about coming out of the pen. I hate when games get diminished to a point where, if rules changes are such that they affect the integrity of the game, we complain, rightfully so. But also, like, sometimes leagues across the board will expand, and they'll expand too soon, and there's a dearth of talent spread out, and then you'll see that. This isn't that. We got a lot of guys that can throw 100, a lot of guys that can throw 101, 102. The problem is now they're littered in bullpens across the league, and the game gets shortened to 5 innings. If you're down after 5, there's a good chance you're screwed. See the Yankees last year, and you don't see contact.
Right.
The ball needs to be put in play for baseball to be fun. I'm not saying I can't enjoy a 2-1 game where starting pitchers go 7 innings and are just masterful, but I don't want to see my starting pitcher go 5 innings on the nose, followed by a series of visits to the mound for matchups.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's the game.
That's not good. And it also leads to a lack of activity, meaning there's just nothing going on. There's a dude coming in here to pitch to you from the left side. He's going to strike you out in 4 pitches. He throws 98 to 100. This guy's coming in after him to face your righty. He throws 100. He's going to strike you out. And then we're going to do this the rest of the game because I've got 7 guys.
Yeah.
Well, go to hell with that.
Right, and you're doing it in May.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing on the line in May.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no desperation in the moment. I get you have to manage to win a ball game, but from a fan's perspective, sitting in the stands,
it's not good.
You know, I've gotten up and I've forgotten about the game. I went to the concession stands and now I'm wandering all over the ballpark, and I'm spending $9 a beer, and I go, why am I here? Wait a minute, why am I here? What am I watching?
At the current rate, the 200-inning pitcher may soon go the way of the 300-inning pitcher did in 1980 when the Phillies, Steve Carlton, last topped that mark. I remember when pitchers, that happened, where people could throw 300 innings. Chris Sale of the Red Sox led baseball last season at 214 innings. The lowest total ever for a league leader. Lowest total by far.
That's criminally low, too. Even in the last 5 years, in the scope of the last 5 years, if you're a horse, you're pitching 230.
The Mets popularized the 5-man rotation. They did it in 1969, famous season. The Angels, as I just mentioned, are going to a 6-man rotation. At the 2017 average per start, no Angel hurler in a 6-man rotation would reach 150 innings.
Yeah, but the problem here is, again, if you're going to a 6-man rotation, you're not doing so with the mindset that your starter's going into the 8th. He's going to pitch into the 8th inning. It's still not the mindset.
Still not the mindset, no.
It's to get me through the 5th, and then whatever you do after that is gravy.
If you've got a great bullpen. You know, the only hope, the irony here for me selfishly, is that the only hope the Pirates have to be remotely competitive in a year where they've traded off their assets is they've got a good bullpen.
Yeah.
They've got a real good bullpen. And they're not horrible if Taillon's okay with starting pitching. Can you get Ivan Nova and Taillon and others to get you the 5th inning, Chad Kuhl and those guys to get you the 5th inning, and then roll out a ton of really good arms out of the bullpen and make yourself competitive? The irony here is the thing that I'm not liking about the game may actually be the only way the Pirates could win 81 games this year.
Could be. To me, I just – okay, so you look at the sport of hockey, near and dear to my heart. There's defensive pairings, right? Mm. So you have your first, second, third pair. You might play with 7 and rotate another guy in. I really believe that in the not-too-distant future, that's the way we're going to go. You have a group. You got 2 pitchers that are slated to pitch this day, and they're going to get you 7 to 8 innings. And then you get your setup guy and your closer. Mm-hmm. I really think you're going to start carrying 7 to 8 pitchers that are like starter hybrid types compared to where they are now. And you're going to get 4 1/3 or 5. You go as long as that first guy can, but then the second pitcher cleans him up. And he
just gets you to the end of the game.
Yeah, he gets you to where your bullpen is standard. Because right now, what's going to happen is if you're not what the Yankees have been in recent years,
well, that was
what
crazy.
the Royals were in
what
2015,
they were able to do, yeah.
Man, you're stuck. You're totally screwed and without hope in the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. You might have a setup guy, and then you do have your closer. Most teams at least have a closer. But you're screwed in those middle innings. There's only so many teams that have it like that. And the Pirates may be one, whatever. But you're going to have to come up with an answer there because pitchers aren't suddenly going to throw 125 pitches a game.
No.
Because there's a 6-man rotation. They're going to stay at 100.
The guy that comes in the 5th, or the 6th is always the worst pitcher on your team. I mean, he's usually the guy you go, well.
Correct.
This isn't good.
So you might have to reinvent that here in the near future and say, all right, let's go for 80. Can you just give me 80 and however long that goes, we'll go. We'll start a clean inning. I might use one of my middle reliever types by today's standards
to go
finish
in the 3rd or something. Like
finish an inning.
If you had a taxing first.
Right, to finish the inning. But the other mound is being used by my second starter type. I mean, that's not – maybe 10 years ago that would sound nuts. That doesn't sound nuts anymore. I think that's where we're going.
It is really weird, the standard quality start that we always used to look at. It's not something anymore that I really pay attention to. I'm always looking at, did my starting pitcher give me a solid 5 tonight? And I hate that, man. I miss the horses. I miss those guys that you handed the ball to, and you said, all right, every 5th day I know I got a guy who will battle. Whether he's got his stuff or not, he's going to be out here 6, 7 innings. I'm going to give my bullpen a rest, and we're going to move on.
Well, I think there's going to be an intermediate stage, too, with a player that's like a bridge. He's just known as the bridge guy, and he can give you 3 innings 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And he can get you to wherever you feel good about closer or setup man. Or if you're losing the game, then you just, pitch whoever the hell to finish the game. But there's going to be a value placed on somebody who can get you 6 to 9 outs in a given night, 2 or 3 times a week.
The long reliever, as he's known currently, but I understand what you're saying.
You're going to shorten a starter. Well,
yeah,
I mean, but in St. Lucie, the Mets have 8 starting pitchers or whatever it is, 9 starting pitchers. Well, I mean, you can't have an 8 or 9 man rotation, so why not make use of them during the? Don't train them to be a 3-out guy. Train them to be a 6-out guy.
I think. We have a lot of discussion centered around baseball at the start of every year these days about the length of games and, the amount of inactivity and the things that they've got to do to make baseball viable to the newer generation and all of that. They are seriously going to have to think about some of the stuff that John Smoltz and others have brought up regarding rules about how many visits and relievers you can go to in a game. You really do. I want to put the onus back on a guy who has versatility, stamina, strength, fortitude, mental and physical, right? I miss the days of the 6-out save, which was kind of standard for a long time among some of the great relievers of the late 70s and 80s, right? Those guys that would come in and pitch the 8th and 9th, and they really were multifaceted. They could probably give you 3 innings if you needed them.
Right, and now you feel like if you're using your closer for 4 outs, it's a talking point around the world. It's like you're using one of your 9 lives.
Well, it's how the Cubs nearly blew a World Series because they were asking a horse of a man on steroids,
who used to be a starter,
to get 5 outs. Oh, God. He had to get 5 outs the other day. What are we going to do?
But he didn't care about the 8th inning. That was the hard part.
I mean, it was just weird. And he struggled.
Yeah.
And
he didn't have the focus for it.
It was bizarre, but I don't know. It's just troublesome. I love the sport, and here we're about to start the sport, and I'm all in and I'll watch. There's some aspects of the game I don't like, and if we're going to talk about the inactivity and the need to speed things up, this seems to go hand in hand with that. We don't need teams to be using 6 relievers in a game almost every night because they can, because there's an overabundance of guys that throw 96.
Well, you saw what Arizona's doing, though, right? Bringing the bullpen cart back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're bringing the bullpen cart back. So
wow. All right.
That'll speed it up by maybe a minute or 2 every time we make a pitching change.
Ridiculous. Why do we have these?
You don't need, Randy Choate to be trotting out from the bullpen, taking 10 minutes.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Put him in a car. Drive him on up with the giant helmet.
Which is cool, and it takes me back to my youth. But, by the way, just limit the number of relievers. If you got a guy who's too sorry to get you through that situation, better find somebody better next year. Sorry you don't have the guy. Put a premium on that.
Yeah, but if a guy's past the point of, exhaustion or your rotation's in a bad place, what do you do then? You just leave this sorry sucker out there to throw at 60?
You wear your ass beaten. That's the way they used to do it. You wear that beating. Take it like a man and move on to tomorrow. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
Have you lost your mind? Auditors? Why would you call them? Now we have to find our tax returns, paycheck stubs, and financial records, not to mention all those forms. Good grief.
Relax, honey. It's not that kind of auditor.
It's not?
No. I called the City of Tallahassee Utilities and scheduled a free energy audit.
Energy audit?
Right. It's when an energy auditor from our own utilities comes out to the house, examines the structure, and checks our energy and water systems, and then recommends changes we might make to save energy, water, and money.
And you said it's free?
Absolutely. It's free from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, our own utilities.
Sounds good to me. Let's save some money.
If you're a City of Tallahassee residential, electric, and natural gas customer, you can schedule a free energy audit. Call 891-4YOU. That's 891-4968. And schedule your free energy audit at a time most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it. And I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Why wouldn't you keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I tell everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Down. Libations Friday. We're in a good mood. You know who was not in a good mood today? I was going to bring you my interview with Seth Greenberg, ESPN college basketball analyst. I've actually spoken to Seth before on ESPNU, Sirius XM, and it was a pleasant conversation. Today's was not a pleasant conversation. Oddly enough, my view of this, Tom, I'll let you weigh in since you got to hear it and produce it. My view is that I don't know what I said, but something happened that upset him early on. I believe it's because we had two different ideas of what that interview was going to be. I was asking him a little bit more at the outset of the interview about the bigger picture, who's in, who's out, who's on the bubble, who's not, how many teams from each conference are getting in. And I was going to segue from that to Florida State. Generally speaking, so you guys know, the way this works, and if you listen to a lot of sports talk radio, you already know this. If you have a national guest, you can ask him questions about all the other teams because they are, in essence, covering the entire sport. So if we have Brad Edwards on, we talk to him about all of college football, and then we'll get to Florida State or we'll get to the ACC or the SEC or something regional. And he gets that we're going to ask him questions in that way. But the beginning of those interviews, you get the opportunity to pick the brain of a national analyst about all of the teams and then move closer to the team that you cover, right? And so that was my intention, and that's generally that's customarily how it's done. I don't think Seth, this is my guess, I don't think Seth wanted to do that. I think he was either told or was under the impression that we were only going to talk Florida State. I think he made some other assumptions about where I stand on Coach Hamilton and the job that was done this year or in general. I don't know. I just think there were a lot of weird assumptions made there. But my man was contentious and argumentative and didn't feel like doing it, and the interview's not even worth airing. I think Tom wants to air the whole interview.
Well, I want to air a certain part of it that, again, it's like when Sean McDonough outed himself that he doesn't watch Florida State play at all. Like, he watched, the Louisville game.
Yeah.
But that's, about it. Like, the context of the season, he really didn't see, all the quadrant one wins when you're comparing resumes with Louisville and say, I don't see how it's a better resume than Louisville's.
Right.
It is. It just, objectively speaking, is.
It just is.
And McDonough strikes me as somebody who likes to stick to fact and then get snarky after he knows the fact, but he didn't even know the basic fact to go with. So flash forward to this thing, And I think this is partially why Seth is a little bit short on time.
Good graces.
Tact. Patience. Preparation, too, I'd point out. He's short on preparation. But they give you a window. And so you get these little, notes from Bristol. It said, all right, so, hey, you want to talk to Coach Tom Crean or Coach Greenberg, and let us know.
Let me interject here. Tom knows I don't normally do those interviews.
Yeah.
For a variety of reasons. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, depending on whether I know the guy. So Tom reaches out to me yesterday to tell me that corporate has said, hey, we got Seth Greenberg and Tom Crean if you want them from this hour to this hour. I said yes to both, right, Tom? Probably surprising you.
It did. That's never a yes. I actually asked you on a whim, and I was stunned that you
said yes to both because guess what? It's that time of year, and I respect the work those gentlemen do. They both coached college basketball. I figured why not pick their brains about an interesting bubble and an interesting time of year. It's a little slow elsewhere, so okay, sounds like fun. And I said yes to both. Well, Crean was booked, couldn't get him on. They told you later on
it filled up quickly for Tom. I guess the Heartland wanted to talk to him, obviously.
Right. And so then Seth was available today at 1:25. So I really looked forward to this interview. We're probably prattling on far too long, but
listen, in 6 years now of doing the show day to day and 9 years of doing some variety of it, I have never in my life experienced something quite like that. That is bizarre. From the word go, because you ask him, you get out and you ask him about the Alabama-Texas A&M situation. He analyzes that just fine. But then you get to the bubble, and he makes a grand proclamation that he thinks Oklahoma State is into the tournament. Naturally, you follow up and ask him, well, okay, who else from the Big 12? His response is, well, I don't have my notes in front of me. I'm watching Alabama-Auburn right now,
That was the response. That's correct.
Well, that's lovely that you're watching Alabama-Auburn.
At that moment, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a weird interview because I presumably thought we could talk about those teams that are on the bubble or that have played their way in or out.
So you want to throw away that line and then not be asked any follow-up questions about any of the conferences, which you did. You ask him about the SECs. I don't have my notes. I'm just watching this game, and other teams are playing themselves in. Okay. Then you get into the Florida State talk. It's just and he was willing to give you about 3-word answers, and then when you would let the dead air go to hint to him, please expound.
He was not going to pick it up.
So then he went into cliche mode. So long story short, the one thing I will give him here is his window was originally scheduled for 12:30 to 1:30. They gave us 1:25, which means that
we're the last interview.
Or, perhaps he might claim the penultimate interview. Either way, his time is being extended. So I think he was out of patience before this interview started. However, that gives you no excuse whatsoever to A, not be prepared about what Florida State is or isn't as a team because he got 2 or 3 key things wrong. Flat wrong, as though he's never watched Florida State all season long.
Right.
All season long. And 2, to just be a jerk about it. You got to be a pro's pro, man, and then let the handler have it behind the scenes.
Yeah, you
don't take it out on a market because you think it's small time.
Well,
it's ridiculous.
and I don't know how much of what we're speculating on is accurate or not. I think portions of all of it are. But here's his nugget. I know you have some of this here. Just I end the interview prematurely because this isn't going well. It would have been fun just to let it ride. I should have asked like 3 more questions to see what he would have done.
This is in the middle of an answer.
Yeah, in the middle of an answer.
About Florida State getting better defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, when I still think of the length of the athleticism, the depth they've been able to recruit, that if they could dig in just a little bit more, they could really, really bother people.
So with that, Seth, with that athleticism,
I've got about 2 more minutes. I got another interview I got to do. So what's the last one?
Take it easy, Seth. I appreciate your time, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do that.
No, and what's understood in those moments is you have about 10 minutes or so. We were minute 8 of the interview.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, what you never do, and I'll just say this because I'm not Seth Greenberg. I'm not a national host, and I'm not a national guest. But that's not true. I am a national guest frequently. When you're on with somebody, you never, ever reference the time. Ever.
Right.
It's not... So I've been on Mike and Mike. I've been on all of the biggest shows. This is arrogant. I'm just saying it right now. I've been on every major show there is to be on. Lots of people have. Anyhow, as a guest covering Florida State, right? the producers will tell you ahead of time you're going to be on for 7 minutes, you're going to be on for 13 minutes, you're going to be on for 3 minutes, it's one question, they just need to know one thing, they want to get it from you, whatever it is, right? And sometimes, the window's tight. You've got other things you're doing, whatever it might be. But you never go on and reference it during a live interview.
Right.
If it goes long, it goes long.
No, typically you have a handler actually make the call and then patch the person through. And then the person, if you're going too long with the guest, it is the handler's job to communicate to you via text or whatever, saying, wrap it up, we got to go.
Yeah, and they do.
Not in this case, though. Seth directly called us and was not prepared. One little nugget of this is he was talking about FSU's immense depth and what they've done recruiting-wise in the ACC, that they're as athletic as any team, in the conference.
Well, he got mad because I said that Florida State and Hamilton has done, what they've done is go through a transformation from being defensive-minded and trying to beat people 50-48 and really use their length and size and tough-mindedness on defense to win games, to a more skilled, athletic group that beats you, can get out and play tempo and transition and score and win games that are more entertaining, frankly. I even said that. But it's a tough thing to transition to in the ACC when you're Florida State and you've got to be competing against the likes of Duke and North Carolina. And he took issue with all of that for some reason.
Yeah, he thinks it's ludicrous because Florida State has so much talent. Listen, if you look at Florida State's recruiting class over the last 4 or 5 cycles, yeah, we do rank top 20 routinely. But you know what? The guys that were the headliners of all those classes?
Louisville, Duke, North Carolina, and others in this league routinely that you're facing who have better players.
Yeah, but all our guys that were the 5 stars that brought those rankings to the roof.
Isaac and Bacon and Beasley and XRM are all gone.
Yeah. What do they have in common? They're not here.
No.
We're a bunch of role players this year, and there isn't tremendous depth. What the hell are you watching?
Yeah.
You're not. You just can't be. You couldn't watch that as somebody who's had a profession, who's been in the business like he's been for however long, and is good enough at his job to get a job like Virginia Tech, right? You can't be in that job, in that line of work, and watch Florida State and come to the conclusions you're coming to. So the simple answer is you're just not watching them.
Well, at the end of the day, we're not playing the interview. You got to hear a snippet of it. It was contentious. It was weird. It sucked.
At which point,
awful.
Just play to the national markets. Do that thing instead of going to local markets and trying to answer about a team that you don't watch.
Well, moreover, don't be perturbed about the idea of having to answer questions about college basketball. That's what you do. He was mad about the questions regarding college basketball.
I don't know who I have in with the SEC. I don't have my notes. I'm watching Alabama Auburn right now.
Yeah, I don't know how many teams are getting in from the Big 12. You don't? You don't have to know specifically. Well, you can speculate. This is kind of the give and take, man.
The last thing I'll say about it, if you're going to make a proclamation that Oklahoma State is in, which I don't know that anybody has them in to the tournament right now.
No.
But if you're going to say that, that does indicate that you have thoughts on each conference and who should be in and who should be out. And
which is why I followed it up by, okay, if you don't think they're in, then, okay, I said 7 teams, maybe 8 teams out of the Big 12. Kansas, West Virginia, TCU, Oklahoma, Texas, and I struggled to remember Texas Tech. And then what did we say?
He said Baylor's not going to get in.
He said Baylor's not going to get in, and I was fine with that. I was like, okay, but he has Oklahoma State in, so that would be 8 teams.
Right.
And I said, so 8 teams. All right, well, if you got 8 teams there, you got 8 out of the SEC, or you have 9 out of the ACC? I don't know. I mean, these teams are playing. We'll see. I don't have my notes. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sunday, they were going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they'll go 2 on Saturday. ACC basketball tournament continues in Brooklyn, the semifinals. It's the game we wanted in the championship, but tonight it's Duke against North Carolina, round 3. NFL news, the exodus continues in Seattle. Richard Sherman will be released by the Seattle Seahawks. He did have a torn Achilles. He did have surgery on it in the offseason, but he should be ready to go for the start of the season. No question there's going to be a team ready to scoop him up. And Serena Williams is back in the win column, winning her first match in 14 months as she returned to Indian Wells.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for this week, and a fine Libations Friday, loosey-goosey edition of the Jeff Cameron Show to you and yours. Yeah. Woo! Online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always, if you miss anything, we've got you covered. All 3 hours going to be put up there, both on iTunes and in our own audio vault. So if you miss, go back, catch up at your leisure. And thanks for listening. JCS@979ESPNradio.com is the email address. Fire away with those. On Twitter, it's @JCameronShow, the WTSM app. Good for your mobile devices. Also, there is archived audio on that WTSM app. And if you want to watch us on YouTube, performing the radio program, just go to ESPN Tallahassee on YouTube and you'll find us. Hey, this is kind of cool. This is not lead-worthy necessarily, but I've had the good opportunity over the years to interact with Charlie Ward, and you saw that yesterday, didn't you, Tom, that he's going to come back as a brand manager, and I'd love to be a brand manager. I don't know what it entails, but it sounds like a really easy job. I'm sure you just got to go around shaking hands, kissing babies, and being Charlie Ward and try to tell everybody how great Florida State is, which is a good thing to do, and he wants to do that. And by the way, I will tell you this. Over the years in talking with Charlie Ward, he does love him some Florida State. He's like a fan now, and it's hilarious to talk to him.
Yeah, you said that in your appearances on his Pensacola show in the past that he will ask you pointed questions, but in a subtle way that only Charlie Ward can.
It's perfect. It's hilarious, yeah. And he gets to the point, and I always crack up. Because he's seeking answers. He's asking a legitimate question. It's not rhetorical. He's angry about something as angry as Charlie Ward
right, but he's very quiet.
Oh, he's so quiet. And he was, I don't know if he still is, he was a co-host on a show there in Pensacola, whose host I love. He's a sweetheart of a man. And anyhow, they've had me on for a few years, and whenever I go on, Charlie's like ready. He's got a question about something that's failing. You know, if the offensive line's not playing, Jeff, why has the offensive line played so poorly this year? You know, or do you think the offensive line is going to play better this weekend against such and such? He sounds like Michael Jackson. Sorry. Anyhow, and it cracks me up. It's always he's very angry, and that's as angry as he can be. I mean, that's just.
Would you like an Oreo?
It's just hilarious.
That was kind of more Harry Carey, Will Ferrell-esque.
Yeah, no, but it's funny. I crack up because he's clearly, it's been on his mind, is the point. He's been thinking about it while watching the games like the rest of us schleps. Like, what are we doing here?
Something seems amiss with the offensive line.
Yeah, that's his way of saying our line is garbage, and I'll crack up. I'll give him answers, and then he'll say, is there somebody behind that young man we could put in? Like that's like he's looking to get guys benched. So his passion for the program is what I'm touching on. And, of course, he was a head coach at Pensacola Washington High School, and he'd been there since 2014. So he's stepping down from that and going to be a brand manager for Florida State. We'll get the details of whatever that is. Again, I imagine raising money for the program is what that is. And, listen, Charlie Ward is Charlie Ward, a legend in the Garnet and Gold. There is perhaps nobody bigger. The Heisman Trophy, the national championship, Florida State's first, and really so many exhilarating moments of my youth and my time here is centered around Charlie Ward. And just remembering, I was down in the swamp for the play to done, and I'm surrounded by Gators, and I've told the pelvic thrust story numerous times, but his elusiveness really, by the way, encapsulated in that play. Look at the subtlety, the subtle shift to his left as he gets pressure immediately and just makes it look effortless. Mm-hmm. He just glides to his left out of the pocket and little flick. But that little flick is pinpoint accurate, and it's a lead. I mean, it's going to take you to where you need to go.
Which is the end zone.
Which is the blankety-blank end zone.
The gosh darn end zone.
That's right. But it's a beautiful little, I got you. And I bet he said it like that in his mind. I got this.
And there are three things that really make a lot of sense for this move to happen. Number one, he's an FSU legend, which you're just talking about. Number two, he loves Florida State. And number three, he's a man of faith. And those last two things he'll have in common with a lot of people who have a lot of money, who can give their money to Florida State.
And need to.
That is very wise.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot in common. You love Florida State? Yes. You're a man of faith? Me too. Now, let's talk about that checkbook and this tax-deductible donation you can make to Willie Taggart's program.
Nicely done.
Oh, yeah.
You've already got the pitch starting to write it out, are you?
Yeah, there's that practice facility.
Last night, by the way, I don't know if you saw this, and this is what I don't like about these conference tournaments, and I've talked about this before. When you get stunning upsets, like the one you had last night in a one-bid league typically, you cost somebody obviously a major team usually that's on the bubble an at-large bid, but you also cost a team that earned their way in. Now a lot of people are debating this and they're saying the resi as we call it in the biz. How's that resi? But
it's bubble proof.
Yeah, they're saying that the resume is probably good enough. It's worthy, if you will, anyhow, and I hope so. Middle Tennessee State, who went 24-6 this year, 15-3 in the Conference USA entering their league tournament, that a lot of people thought that was good enough, right? That they would be in no matter what they did. But a lot of people thought they'd be the only team coming out of Conference USA if they would have taken care of business. Instead, they were upset 71-68 in overtime last night in that tournament in the quarterfinals by number 9 seed Southern Miss, who was 14-17.
That's a team we beat to hell last year.
That's right.
This season, but late last year.
Yeah, Southern Miss was 14-17 this year, 7-11 in Conference USA. They didn't do a lot for our conference, non-conference strength of schedule,
which is in the 320s.
Yes. By the way, that boat racing that you're referencing, that final score, December 21st here at the TLC-CC was 98-45. That's the team that beat Middle Tennessee State last night. Teams change over the course of a long season. I got it. The Noles hit 19 threes that day.
Could we have saved about 5 of them for another game?
Well, it's what led us all to think, boy, this team can really shoot, because there was a stretch of time where they could really shoot.
Yes.
On that particular day, Southern Miss found that out. 19 threes. It was bombs away. So now, if Middle Tennessee doesn't get in, and I don't know, I mean, a lot of people, again, say the resume is good enough. But if they don't, it's ridiculous. They were so far and away the best team in that conference, 15-3, in a tournament setting where motivations are very different, man. I really think you just cannibalize the regular season. What's the point?
Right. Yeah,
What's the point of having, what if, and this has happened, Middle Tennessee could have gone, I don't know, 18-0 in the conference.
Yeah.
And then lost in an upset, a day for the ages for another team that has a lot more motivation in the moment. And what, that season didn't happen? You don't go anywhere? You're off to the NIT? I don't like it.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, you look at the Metro Atlantic where Iona got the bid, right? They finished 4th in the conference in the regular season standings. Ryder was 15-3, Canisius was 15-3, Niagara 12-6, and then there's Iona at 11-7. But who gets to go? The 11-7 team that had a good weekend.
Yeah, a good weekend. There are times where it's, again, it's a lot of fun, but boy, I really think we penalize the better teams who go on, in these smaller leagues too. They really get gobbled up by a run at money, which is what these tournaments are.
Yeah.
And it negates an incredible regular season. And you might say, well, they know that going in. Well, great, man. But why bother to play the regular season? You know what? I'll tell you what. We'll just go out there and get our ass beat.
Well, you should experiment with stuff in the regular. If you're in a conference like that, just go ahead and experiment with your rotation.
Experiment with everything.
Do crazy things.
Give guys tons of rest.
We're putting out 4 centers and a guard.
Because we can. Because it really doesn't matter what happened here.
We're playing Fairfield tonight, and who gives a damn?
It's only going to matter, obviously, when we get into that tournament. So long as we win that, we're in. We don't care.
Try penetrating this boxing one.
As for the NCAA tournament, at least in terms of the bigger conferences, whether you're looking at ACC, SEC, Big 12, for the ACC, Notre Dame getting shellacked last night, North Carolina taking care of business with Miami, and those games playing out the way that they did. Look, it's Virginia, it's Duke, it's Carolina, it's Clemson, it's NC State, it's Miami, it's Virginia Tech, it's Florida State, and we think it's Louisville.
Could be. I don't know. I think a lot of other factors maybe still playing
those
out there.
Teams are really nervous. There are plenty of teams that are very, very nervous. Of the big leagues, by the way, that's bid leagues. It's easier for somebody else to say. You're right. Iona out of the MAAC. Louisiana out of the Sun Belt. Harvard out of the Ivy yet again. There you go, Matthew Leach. Montana out of the Big Sky. Wright State out of the Horizon, Southeastern Louisiana out of whatever the SLND is, Southern League.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. UNC Greensboro, UC Davis, Buffalo out of the MAC, Lipscomb. Lipscomb seems to be a regular. Murray State out of the OVC, Charleston, Radford, Hampton, South Dakota State, New Mexico State, Vermont, Bucknell, LIU, Brooklyn's in, Tom.
Oh, that's right. Brooklyn, stand up.
Yeah. And Arkansas Pine Bluff out of the SWAC.
Oh, Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, Arkansas Pine Bluff action for you. There you go. So what I'm telling you is these are the teams from the one bid leagues that are rolling on Big River.
Once played a game of pickup over winter break with a kid who he said he went to Arkansas, and then he was a reserve tailback. It was just my neighborhood,
You're like, oh, awesome.
And so we started playing, and he didn't have that much game. We were like, well, he's just like anybody else, because we had 2 D1 athletes out there, Riley Cooper and A.J. Trump. And so we go home and look him up. Oh, it was Arkansas Pine Bluff. He forgot to tell us about the Pine Bluff.
He didn't mention the Pine Bluff.
That's how I know that school exists.
Yeah. Pine Bluff, we've played them before in baseball, though. They've been around. We've seen
They might be good in baseball.
We've seen old Pine Bluff roll in here, buddy.
That's a February opponent, right?
Yeah. So the 4 buys, to your point you were making yesterday, where we were really worried about the the last 4 in, last 4 out,
insulation thing,
and all that stuff. If you're, I'm speculating here, but St. Mary's, Oklahoma, Texas, UCLA, all teams that are being mentioned there. Florida State's not being mentioned in that way.
Correct.
Even the last 4 in category, Southern Cal, Louisville, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, even though we're underachieving with our tremendous rotation.
You're going to make reference to the Seth Greenberg interview that didn't air
for a long time.
For a very, very
long time.
I know, man. It was awkward. It's just, if you didn't hear that segment last hour, then
I'm going to just say, listen, if somebody is on the desk or something, they're not prepared, I'm just going to say, they Greenberg that segment.
This gives me a chance. You weren't here. We weren't working together. The most contentious situation. Now, the interview itself went fine, but the awkwardness of the interaction, and it was in person, that I ever had was with John Feinstein.
That was Eric Eggers was down there in Tampa.
He knows exactly what I'm talking about. That was weird. That guy was livid. I mean, it was just bizarre.
Livid to be bothered to sit down in the chair?
Yeah, he was
bothered.
bothered.
He could just decline.
Yeah, he was bothered to sit down in the chair. But then the worst part about it was I think what set him off, and this is that entitlement that you got a little bit of from Seth Greenberg today, they don't like to have to wait, and they think they're above waiting. And, I don't like to throw guys on as the music's playing. Like, that's like if you're coming over to sit down with me, I don't want to go, come on. I want you to have a second so we can talk for a few seconds, 30 seconds, just to kind of, break the ice. He sat down, put on the headset, the author, John Feinstein. And I go, we've got 30 to 60 seconds. We're in a commercial, but we're coming out and you're first up. And he goes, oh, right. It's always the same with you radio guys. Oh, of course you're not ready. It's like, what the? I looked over at Eggers. I was like, what was that? And I go, well, we're coming out of commercial. We're coming right back now. I mean, And he's like, I'll wait. I got nothing else to do. Which he was being sarcastic.
Sure. I picked up on that.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was just. And then he wants to brag about his book about Tom freaking Glavine or whatever it was. And it was just bizarre. And that was contentious.
John, your thoughts on your book about Randy Johnson? Like, come on, man. It would have been more professional for somebody today to just not call.
Just don't do the interview.
Just don't call.
If you're really in a bad mood.
Right. Or you have work to do. Like,
yeah,
I'm watching the big Alabama-Auburn game that I'm going to be talking 20 minutes about later.
What he was mad about, and I'm not talking about Seth, I'm talking about Feinstein, was that he literally was on his way to go sit down just to take in basketball.
Yeah.
And Eggers grabbed him, and he could have said, like you said, no, I'm busy. I'm going to watch the game. Sorry, guys. Maybe next time. Ironically, I'll tell you something that might surprise you. You know who was great that I had on and we spoke for a long time and actually chit-chatted afterwards? Pat Forty.
Really?
Yeah, he was fine. This was before
This is before the coddling continued.
Oh, yes, this is before all that. But bizarre. Yeah, I got to go back through the now almost 20 years worth and think of the ones where I've been caught.
That was a new one for me. Just because I can understand in context if you're having a rough day, you're up against it or whatever. But there are places it never bleeds into.
Shouldn't be. It's a professional interview. Do it. You're out, and it's 10 minutes of your day. Even if you're running late. You know what happens afterwards? You take a deep breath, you turn to your handler and go, man, I'm up against it. Why do you have me talking?
Job's infinitely easier than the job you got fired from.
It's people get cranky. They get in he's in his 60s. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Why does Mahindra have 97% satisfaction? Ask our owners.
This gives me the ability to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin, Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
To your pride, Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, I'm Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. Some roofers are like a bad boyfriend. They make lots of promises, but in reality, they're just cheap. They don't own up to their mistakes, and they leave you with a lot of regret. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. Parker Brothers Roofing stands behind every installation, and if a mistake is made, we own it and fix it. Our customers never have to worry about being left behind for the next job. At Parker Brothers, it's quality that builds our quantity. Call us at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Sports are defined by stats and performance, but here's a performance stat that no one wants to talk about. Erectile dysfunction affects half of all men over 40. That's 50%. If you're struggling with ED and other therapies haven't worked, isn't it time to feel like yourself again? Learn about a long-lasting ED solution from Coloplast to get you back in the game. Visit Dr. DeLay at Advanced Urology Institute, located at 2000 Centerpoint Boulevard, or call their office and set up an appointment today. 833-4-DRDELAY. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. The sooner you seek treatment, the sooner you can get back to feeling like your normal self. That's 833-4, Dr. DeLay. Did you know that propane-powered clothes dryers outperform electric models in energy efficiency, drying time, and garment protection? So dry your clothes more efficiently with propane. Propane water heaters give you more hot water at a more affordable price. Compared to electric, energy-efficient propane water heaters can reduce your energy costs significantly. For more information, call AmeriGas Propane here in Tallahassee at 877-1122.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
This is the
Show 97.9 ESPN Radio on Libations. Friday Knowles going to take on Wake Forest here shortly. The beginning of ACC play. Cole Sands getting it done hopefully tonight. By the way, Sands on the year 3-0 with a 2.25, 22 strikeouts to just 4 walks. And this has been a big part of what we've been happy with up to now, right? The number of strikeouts this pitching staff as a whole are putting together. The ability to miss bats, the ability to go out and throw power arm after power arm. Not something that's been the hallmark of this program. It's been something that we have searched for. We've had years, obviously, some better than others in that regard, but we've been envious of the programs that have been able to procure that kind of talent, and actually we've raised an eyebrow at it because it's odd to see a kid who can throw 96, 97 and decide to go play college baseball. But Florida seems to find him, and a few others have along the way, and that's been infinitely frustrating. I remember watching a kid for South Carolina, another kid for LSU, another kid for Oregon State, and we're going, where are they getting these kids from? But right now, it's good to know that there are a number of kids that I think if you're rooting for an opposing program, you might say, where'd they get these kids from?
Yeah.
And that is duly noted.
Yeah, it is. And frankly speaking, this is the time of year where you start to pay attention close to Florida State baseball.
Because it's a great conference in that you get tested.
Right. And the first couple of weeks, I'll check in on the box scores. There are other things going on. You know, Florida State basketball is wrapping up. There's a playoff push going on in hockey. I mean, for me, if I'm trying to fit Florida State baseball into the pantheon of what I need to consume, it's a weekend series at a time. And just let's take a look at the numbers, because the opponent, they may be okay at best. You're not facing ACC caliber competition. You're not facing a team like Florida. Now it's time to see what we are. It took about 1 weekend or two to figure out that this rotation is going to be pretty solid, even though you lost Tyler Holton. But how good is it? We require Andrew Karp to be at the front end of the rotation. Can Sands handle it by himself? What's Parrish going to be? I mean, again, it's about checking boxes as the schedule gets tougher, as the opponent gets tougher. And so now that we're getting into a more legitimate portion of the schedule, it's great that we're undefeated to this point. What do you got?
Well, what you have is Cole Sands tonight, like I said, at 3-0 with a 2.25. But how about this? Drew Parrish will go in Game 2, 1-0 with a 1.06. Austin Paul goes in Game 3, 2-0 with a 0.56.
Right. There's the first thing to circle, the first question. Okay, can he do that against conference competition? Is Karp really going to still be, a weekend hand on deck, but a weekday starter?
Should be noted, by the way, Florida State's 13-0 start to the season. Fourth best. I was asked this online, so I'm answering the question. Fourth best start to a season in school history. The Noles 88-27 all-time against Wake Forest, 28-11 up in Winston-Salem. We've played this program very well. I mean, it doesn't necessarily dictate terms this weekend, but Wake isn't playing exceptionally well coming into this game. They're 5-8 overall in the non-conference, which
right.
What the hell's going on there? FSU, by the way, ranks 11th in the country with a 2.08 ERA, leads the NCAA in strikeouts per 9 innings. So to my point, they lead the entire country in strikeouts per 9 innings. That's not that small a sample size. 13 games is 13 games.
Sure. And again, we always try and balance enjoy the ride versus, setting expectations. But even with Holton getting hurt and what you've seen, the returns you've gotten from the rotation right now.
Yeah.
This is about winning in the postseason. So it's about doing things along the way to prove you're ready for the ultimate test. Some years, and in recent years, because we haven't recruited as well, it's about the journey. It's about how good can we get. And man, especially last season, we're halfway through it and you're thinking, are we about to set all-time records for ineptitude? Like under Martin, this has never happened before type of stuff.
We were very nervous, yeah.
So every weekend series mattered. Right now, it's about building towards the ultimate goal because we have a team that's talented enough. And if the young arms come along and if they can pass the test on the road in Winston-Salem, especially in a doubleheader type, that's odd. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to face that in regional play or super regional play, potentially. A doubleheader. All right, how do we react to that? Go on the road to Gainesville. How do we react to that? These are good tests.
Yeah, let's see what they become as the competition does step up a notch. But when you're striking out nearly 14 a game per 9 innings, and you have 176 of those in 13 games and a 4.19 K-to-walk ratio, it's the third best in the country, by the way, the K-to-walk ratio as well. So they're not walking people in addition to striking out a whole bunch of people. And the starting pitchers have a cool ERA of 1.57 in almost 70 innings. You have done what you're supposed to do and then some defensively on the hill up to this point. Cal Raleigh, a guy I tabbed before the season that I thought would have a big year and bounce back year, if you will. He's hitting .326 right now. Just had a big 2-game set against Kansas.
That brought the average up quickly.
Hit his first home run of the year. The swing looked to be coming around. I do think he's going to have a big year, by the way. As a side note, Mike Martin, 19 wins away from becoming the winningest coach in NCAA history. I say as a side note, just people who are monitoring that climb for Coach Martin. Martin's 1,957 wins, rank only behind, as you know, Augie Garrido up to this point. All-time 11's had some success against Wake, 71-21. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough. I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I suggest the chicken taco salad from Banditos Burritos, my friend.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer. 574-4100. And presented by TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, Georgia. And Franklin Spring Creek Ford. This Day in Sports, brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This Day in Sports History. March 9th, 1995. Major League Baseball awarded the city of Tampa Bay and the state of Arizona with MLB teams. Tampa Bay would be known as the Devil Rays, while the club from Arizona would be called the Diamondbacks. Tampa Bay finished last in the division for their first 6 seasons, and Arizona finished last once before winning their division.
Tallahassee Sports Center.
Huntley Gordon, Florida State baseball is the toast of the town right now. 13-0 on the season. Mike Martin feeling really good about his team's chances this year. The Noles head out to Wake Forest for their first ACC matchup of the year. They'll go at it tonight at 6 o'clock. They've got a doubleheader now on Saturday because of inclement weather on Sunday. They were going to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but they'll go 2 on Saturday. ACC basketball tournament continues in Brooklyn. The semifinals. It's the game we wanted in the championship, but tonight it's Duke against North Carolina. Round 3. NFL news, the exodus continues in Seattle. Richard Sherman will be released by the Seattle Seahawks. He did have a torn Achilles. He did have surgery on it in the offseason, but he should be ready to go for the start of the season. No question there's going to be a team ready to scoop him up. And Serena Williams is back in the win column, winning her first match in 14 months as she returned to Indian Wells.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill. Quarter Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
You know who was really nice? Eric Montrose, 7-footer from North Carolina all those years ago. Super nice guy.
Yeah?
Still works for him. Still does analysis. Still is, yeah. Really nice guy.
Huh.
And is mountainous.
Yeah.
He sat down, talked with us forever.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah. Super nice guy. I got a cool picture with him.
Had all the time in the world.
All the time in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insightful, interested, what we had to say.
Was he prepared?
Absolutely. Knew every team. And he only works with Carolina.
Well, how about that?
It was something.
That's one way to do it.
Did you see, speaking of basketball players, did you hear Chris Bosh's comments I think he's made to 2 different people now. He's on some sort of little tour here. I know he's done Bill Simmons' podcast, but he did an interview with Jackie McMullen as well.
I did not.
Well, here's what I thought was interesting. He said he's talking about like what it's been like since his career ended due to the blood clot issues.
Yeah.
He's 31 years old, first of all, which I thought he would have been older. I don't know why, but he's only 31 years old. And he was talking about how difficult it's been. This interested me because I've always wondered about this. If you are an all-world, everything, multimillionaire, superstar athlete, and he was an all-star and a really good player and the big 3 and he won rings and all that other stuff, and then it suddenly ends and you're still that young and you've got the rest of your life, right? If you can't find something that gives you that juice again, you could be in trouble. And he kind of summed that up by saying, yeah, it's like cruising along, you're going 150 miles per hour in a Porsche, then you hit a pothole. It's just it. It's over, right? You go from being with the guys all the time in the locker room, in practice, having kind of a militarized brain in terms of your schedule, and then, yeah, you're on your own. Now, starting today, you lose a sense of purpose. You lose a sense of yourself. You lose confidence. You find yourself asking, I was the best at this, and now I'm not the best. You have to deal with not being very good at things. You have to deal with people no longer catering to you. You start feeling forgotten. You don't get as many phone calls as you once got. You don't stay at the forefront of people's minds any longer. It's natural. It's life. You have to understand what's happening. But I definitely see why the divorce rate is so high for ex-players and why players end up going broke, because guys spend all their money trying to capture that feeling that they had. You can't eat prime rib every night anymore. There's this never-ending search of that feeling that you once had, and it can cost you.
Yes, you can, Chris.
I was about to say,
you can eat prime rib.
I am going to raise my hand and object to this.
For 100 lifetimes, you could eat prime rib.
I circle this. You and I think so much alike, buddy. I was loving that he was willing to be so forthcoming with his thoughts and the things that can happen. And I was reading that quote going, well, I could see that. Sure, you know, people catering to your every need. That stops all of a sudden. And as entitled as that sounds, you get how you would be accustomed to that, right? And you get that the adrenaline on a nightly basis that comes from playing a professional sport in those arenas. It's like you hear rock musicians. I remember one time Michael Stipe was talking about when REM would go on tour after they got huge. He'd get back to Georgia, to Athens, Georgia, right? And he had lived in this huge house, and he would be so depressed that he would want to like cry himself to sleep every night. He'd be taking a shower and just thinking, and he realized it was because you go from being way up here from an adrenaline spike and you're constantly on the go and you're performing and the adulation and the cheers and then now it's quiet and it's just you in a room and you're with yourself and you got to figure out a way to handle that, to decompress. And for him, it became exercise and diet and art and other forms of expressing himself without the crowds. Players struggle in the same way, I would imagine. It's not there.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing to being an athlete, right? We all think about you work out in the gym and then you go perform. But you're performing before a stage.
Yeah.
The largest stage you'll ever see in your life. And, you don't think about them like they're somebody that's a member of Broadway. But in a way, they are.
Yes.
In a way, they very
much are, absolutely. But to follow up what you said, when you make hundreds of millions of dollars, Chris, I hate to tell you this, somebody should whisper it in your ear. No. If you want prime rib tonight, go ahead and get some prime rib.
You can go to Burns for the rest of your life, for every meal.
Really, everywhere you... Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could certainly do that. I mean, it's not the healthiest thing in the world, but if you want to get after it, Chris, you're actually in a position to get after it.
Yeah.
At
pretty good
times.
Position. Yeah.
That's why I said, and by the way, this ties in nicely, 30 years ago this week, License to Ill came out, the Beastie Boys. I remember where I was. I remember buying it. I remember the first time I sat down with my buddy Chris and listened to it. And I remember many years later listening to an interview that Ad Rock gave, and he was saying, can you imagine being us? It's a wonder we're not dead. He was talking about how proud he was that they were well-adjusted and doing well in their lives now, but it was dicey for a while, and he admitted that. He goes, we went from being broke in Brooklyn to having literally hundreds of millions of dollars at the age of 20. Now imagine.
Yeah.
Inclined as we were for certain activities.
My goodness.
And having unlimited funds in the biggest and greatest city in the world. And they moved from New York.
Well, and it's not just that you have unlimited funds. It's that people love you
they
all
adore
over the
you
world.
all over the world, right. You could easily get into a little bit of trouble. And
yeah.
They did. They had some fun. But then they made me laugh. They moved from New York City to Los Angeles to get away from
yeah.
Like, good luck
from
with
the
that.
neighborhood. Yeah.
So anyhow, but I was laughing about that because he talked about how you have to figure it out. You have to figure out, like, okay, so money's no longer the issue. I got to have some structure. I got to have some things that I look forward to do every day that don't involve me getting crazy every night just because I can.
I would guess that Chris Bosh has turned down TV work. He was the most thoughtful interview on that Heat team. I can recall because I watched it with show contributor Chris. I would watch a ton of Heat games, regular season, the whole thing. And he was the most thoughtful interview. I mean, he would give you good answers. So I would think he, as analytical as he is, he could do that desk job if he wanted to, but maybe he doesn't.
Well, he's had a lot of medical issues, and I think that's the hardest part of this is that when you're forced out of something before your time because of something out of your control, and it wasn't just that, oh, my game is slipping, it's that they don't want me to play. And so I think that's probably been another difficult thing to wrap your mind around. He is more of an intellectual. He has a lot of other interests.
Yeah.
You're right. So it would seem to me that you would transition better, actually.
Well, I mean, he strikes me as somebody who'd be prepared for such a job.
Every segment, huh? Oh, you got another shot in it, Seth. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I'm talking tough, like a state of mind. Tough, like a soldier on the front line. Tough when it gets rough, like my Ford truck. Always enough, I'm talking tough.
Franklin Spring Creek Ford, the place to find your next truck in southern Georgia.
I'm talking tough.
Hey y'all, we're Chris and Preston from Low Cash. Head to Franklin Spring Creek Ford and see them about all of your vehicle needs.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
Most convenient for you. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities, your own utilities.
On demand and live streaming. The all-new WTSM app. Download for iPhone or Android today.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan. March is here. That means another fiscal year end for Nissan Corporate. And while the other dealers' year ended in December, Nissan's is March 31st. And that means only Kraft Nissan has December savings in March. Seriously, factory has given Kraft Nissan a very aggressive number. I mean, big number to hit by month's end. Most dealers would not even try to hit that number because there's an all or nothing cash reward. But based on setting all-time records 3 years in a row, I'm betting Kraft Nissan will set another all-time record. And to do so, I'm drastically lowering prices and passing that cash reward onto you. So if you thought you missed year-end savings, you haven't missed Nissans. Plus, all new Nissans come with Kraft Nissan's exclusive free lifetime warranty. And this month, free maintenance for 2 years or 20,000 miles. Altimas, Maximas, and Rogues have savings up to $6,000. Titans have 0% for 72 months. Available no money down and no payments until June. At Kraft Nissan, our prices and discounts cannot be beat because we share our fiscal year-end bonus with you. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Financing through NMAC with approved credit.
Today, when you buy any golf cart at TNT Supercenter in Thomasville, they will deliver it to you for free. Yes, free delivery within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville and TNT Supercenter. This means you, Tallahassee, and you too, Valdosta. And it gets even better. For a limited time, when you purchase your cart at TNT Supercenter, you'll receive huge discounts, up to 30% off on all your accessories. We're talking major discounts on wheels, tires, lifts, seats, you name it, on everything you'll need to customize and personalize your new golf cart. TNT Supercenter has new carts, pre-owned carts, club car and Yamaha carts, even Star EV carts. And when you buy today at TNT Supercenter, they will deliver it for free within a 50-mile radius of Thomasville. Are you listening, Valdosta? Did you hear me, Tallahassee? Over 150 carts in stock with free delivery and huge discounts on accessories. Only at TNT Supercenter, US 19 South, next to the Dairy Queen in Thomasville. View inventory and pricing at TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Which was in New Orleans. Cool air running through. Good times, good music, good food.
The invigorating cool breeze. Yes.
Of gambling, debauchery, really good drinks, including coffee, a little Cafe Du Monde in the morning, right? Get your day started right. A beignet or two. Move it on down the road. Begin your gambling early. Lose track of time. I'm in. Let's go.
Sounds like you've got it mapped out, buddy.
You only need a couple of days. You don't need much. You don't want to be in New Orleans for too long. It gets away from you in a hurry.
Does it?
One of the few cities that you cannot repel, Tom. You are not going to be able to successfully keep New Orleans from gripping your shoulders and steering you in the wrong direction towards the various dens of iniquity. And I'm not talking about, anything illegal. I'm just talking about the kind of fun and games you can have while gambling and imbibing and listening to great music. It just, next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. What happened here? I started at 10 a.m.
Oh, God.
New Orleans invites you to start at 10 a.m. There's no, you don't
impressive.
go there. No, you're not going there to half step. Half stepping in New Orleans. Last time I was there was a long time ago, but last 2 times I was there. One was with Eric Llewellyn, and we had a good time. It was covering the Florida State game. And then another time was Brian, our mutual friend, Brian Willard. If you're listening, Brian, we had a good time. He remembers.
Does he?
Won a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Yeah, won a lot of money.
Excuse me. You told me that story.
That's a great story. I went to bed. I was done. He was not done. And he continued on. And I thought, you're crazy. You lose all your money if you want to. And then he came back to the room and threw hundreds of dollars in the air and said, the sun was coming up and it was a good time.
Still have yet to go.
Well, we'll go. I feel like I should take you to New Orleans. I usher you in.
Yeah.
I had guidance when I went the first time.
Right, then you can reel me in.
And I can be like, all right, Tom, believe me, it's time. Isn't this a great place, buddy? You're going to go, yeah. I'm going to go, okay, it's time for us to go. Because you'll never want to leave, and you end up dead. That's New Orleans, especially when you're in a good mood on a Libations Friday, which we are. Are you making your way down to Valspar? Are you going to do it? Are you iffy on that yet?
No, I have confirmed plans this morning.
All right,
so
there you go.
I got the green light on all fronts.
Go, because it's been something to behold and a lot of fun to watch. And if the weather holds up, you're going to see a fun Saturday at least. And, of course, you've not seen a lot of the modern guys, the wave of greatness that came on down the line after your last PGA Tour visitation.
I've never seen Tiger play.
Yeah.
So
you will. He'll be there for the weekend.
Yeah, the last time I was at an event, it was here at Innisbrook, or there where I'm going to Innisbrook, and it was John Daly and Laura Davies playing together at the JCPenney Classic.
And Laura Davies once played with what's his face, Faraday, they were partners.
Oh, really?
At that event.
Okay.
At that event, Faraday was talking about it the other day.
Well, yeah, okay, so that tells you, for all the golf I played growing up, I never really went to any good events. This will be, and this is, Tiger never plays this event, and obviously he did damage this morning, so this is going to be cool, man. You get to see some late afternoon, early evening fireworks with Tiger Woods there, and yes.
Get out in front, man.
Circle it.
Get out in front. You don't, the key is to be on a box waiting on him. because otherwise you're screwed. And then go watch Sergio, who will also be around for the weekend, and others who really compress the ball, and the sound is sort of special. It's weird.
Yes. No, following Sergio would be on my list,
fun.
Anyway.
It's fun. You're going to like it.
Yeah.
And you can do it because even though he's the reigning Masters champion and he's been playing very well lately.
Well, I don't know what the pairings are tomorrow. It's just,
Right. The problem.
Hopefully he's with, like, Danny Duffy and,
somebody that nobody cares about, yeah.
Danny Duffy's not even real, but you get my point.
Yeah. Doesn't he pitch for the Royals? The
right,
thing
as a PGA Tour, That would be even better. People are like,
oh, how about that?
Sergio's playing with nobody. We don't like him anyway.
Well, a lot of people don't. So you get up close and personal there with him, and it's fun because if you map it out right, and there aren't a lot of par fives here where they can let it ride. So you got to pick a couple of those to watch Tiger swing a driver or whatever. Sergio, especially to hit a driver, is like, woo.
Well, apparently I'll have good access around the snake pit.
Okay.
The last little stretch. So, I could see them play up to the green and then turn around and play a couple of the par threes, that kind of thing.
Before we sign off, I do want to say that Big Daddy J is here. I got a little advice for you. Red Russians could be had tonight if you watch carefully. Let's watch together, shall we, everybody? The Big Daddy J wagers, which I wrote down earlier. Tom, you're going to be impressed. I was scouting very early on today. Put it in my notes.
Hey, Big Daddy, having some Red Russians tonight?
We'll know in about 47 seconds.
An empty net, he scores.
Red Russians all around, Teddy.
All right, Big Daddy.
Big Daddy's looking to the NBA tonight, Tom. Looking to the NBA tonight. Big Daddy's going to be locked in. It's Tankapalooza right now in the NBA. You can make a lot of money on Tankapalooza. They are losing it in the NBA. Teams have just decided they got no time to try to win games. Giving away money in the league right now in the association.
Going with the NBA. Can't have a Red Russian after a successful night on the hardwood.
You can if you parlay, and we're parlaying tonight. Big Daddy's parlaying the Pacers on the money line. All right, you take the Pacers on the money line to win against the Hawks, who are done dealing. Don't worry about point spreads. You're just parlaying the Pacers on the money line along with the Milwaukee Bucks on the money line to knock off the Knicks. You're just taking two home teams facing two tank teams to win and a little parlay action. So, again, for my friends at home who like Red Russians, we're going Pacers and we're taking the Bucks parlay on the money line.
I don't know, man. Not since Prokhorov with the Nets has there really been a Russian NBA tie.
Don't you worry about it. Big Daddy is an equal opportunity money maker in the land of gambling. And when I see teams tanking, I recognize it immediately and say, I need to take advantage of that. I need to go ahead and take the free money that Vegas now, no doubt, is really concerned about. Because that's what's going on right now. If you read the trades out there in Vegas, everybody's in on these tanking teams.
Or if you're listening to your degenerate Sirius XM programming.
Yeah, well, I may be doing both. So my thing is, I find things all day, Tom. I jot them down. I take advice. I read. I go and I look and I listen. And I say, Big Daddy's taking all of this, culling all of this, putting it in a big pot, and I like that one and that one.
I don't know that Brent will be around to enjoy the spoils of what he started.
It's incredible.
That thing's going to make so much money, especially if and when sports gambling is legalized across the country.
Right. Well, I mean, it's legal out there, and you can get their advice, and it's a lot of fun.
Or you can find a guy.
You can always find a guy. We love our guy.
It's a good guy.
Good guy. Good guy. See him frequently. The thing of it is, though, it's all jokes aside, and those are Big Daddy's wagers, by the way, for tonight, just for tonight. I'll look into the hockey tomorrow. But one thing, small slate in hockey tonight, just 4 games. We had 12 last night. 12 last night. Went with the over with the Lightning, by the way. That worked out well. So
it did, yeah.
Yeah. I was a little nervous at 5-1. I needed him to come on, and then we got 5-3.
Well, we took the foot off the gas.
Yeah, that's all right. The game was over.
It was.
So, So one thing I'll say is with that is you got to find, and there are legitimately tanking teams out there, a lot of them, who are done. The key is this. Are they in position this late in the year to lose enough to get the top spot or the top 2 spots? Don't take a team that's just losing a lot, because there are a lot of them, too, who are going through the motions. It's not the same thing as tanking. Going through the motions because your season is lost and you're not a playoff team is not the same as actively tanking to try to get the first pick. So you'll see a team, people will jump on a team that's lost 10 straight, and they'll say, well, they never win. Well, the problem is they're still trying. So there's risk there. There's real risk there. You want to identify teams that have a chance, that are within 2 games of the worst record in the league. And if you find them, then they're actively trying to lose. They're running out guys who they don't think can win the game.
Yeah, we looked at this last week. I think there were 4 or 5 simultaneous teams that have 18 wins.
Right.
In both conferences.
So that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's like,
find those ones that are really, they're like, I'm trying.
They're to the finish line.
They're outdoing each other. They're like, okay, listen, I'm going to roll out a lineup of all rookies. Here we go. I'm bringing this guy up from the D-League. Get him out there.
I mean, you're playing 60 games. You got 18 wins. You don't do that without trying a little bit.
Well, and this will be good when we get the extra mic, but Matthew can tell us. Matthew, what was it that year, the Sixers, what was that number that we were laughing at that day? What was the number, their record, overall record?
Oh, he doesn't remember.
Were they 7 wins or something like that? How many, what was it?
9. 9, yeah.
Dude, that 9 wins. 9 in an 82-game season. 9. I mean, that, I wish I had taken on the persona Big Daddy J back then.
Right.
I would have known exactly what to do.
9 wins.
9?
It's half of the equation.
9? That's crazy. It was a lot of fun. Nonetheless, enjoy the golf. We have Florida State baseball, and we've got the golf this weekend and a ton of hockey this weekend.
Selection Sunday.
Selection Sunday. The conclusion of the conference tournaments. I think, by the way, as we sign off, we are safely in the NCAA tournament. I think this definitely looks like it.
Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank.
Cool weather. Spring break for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a burden for parents. It's not a great celebration.
Wow. Oh, my girl's off next week.
That's good for you. That's a good thing.
I guess.
I mean, you'll be working some, but, you know.
But next Thursday, Friday is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have wall-to-wall coverage of the NCAA tournament, so we might be at a watering hole near you.
We could. And while you're at work, you can tell her, tidy up the joint. For Tom Legg, for Matthew.
I had to keep my fingers.
I'm Jeff. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.